What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 5DF. Chapter 88 Aesthetics of Violence. The Power of Haxorus. With the blessing of Rizao ability, the weather, which is already sunny day, is getting hotter and hotter, and the power of fire moves has been enhanced again. Let the already amazing Mega Charizard Y ability of special attack attribute be further enhanced. Xiaoyan is preparing to let Charizard take the special attack route. And Luo Ling here. As the light of evolution fades, Fracture evolves into its final form, Haxorus. Open black lens bracket Haxorus. Dragon, black, flash, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket level, 49 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket character, stubborn close black lens bracket. First ability. Breakthrough with the determination to break the rules, you can ignore the opponent's ability when attacking. Second ability. Struggle when rival is the same gender as your own, the power of moves will be improved, if the gender is different, the power will decrease. Individual value. HP 31, physical attack 31, special attack 31, physical defense 31, special defense 31, speed 31, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket skills. Giga Impact, Dragon Claw, Dig, Dragon Dance, Slash, Double Slash, Close Combat, Assurance, Breaking Swipe, Outrage, Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket qualification. Master level close black lens bracket. Hidden hint. Possesses a sense of justice that is almost paranoid, helps the needy, and although he is not strong, he will stand up for the weak. Close black lens bracket. The evolved Haxorus is further enhanced in terms of physical attack. It seems that it doesn't want to lose to the opposite Mega Charizard Y, which is exactly what Luo Ling wants. Come on, Haxorus, let the other side see your abilities. Gabe, Luo Ling and Xiaoyan glanced at each other, and the two Pokémon also looked at each other, and in the next second, they rushed straight towards each other. Charizard Y, Flamethrower keep going. In the process of flying, Mega Charizard Y opened the huge mouth of the abyss, and ejected extremely pure flames from it. Although Flamethrower's move is not the strongest move of the fire element, it is not weak, and it does not have any negative effects. Mega Charizard Y itself is good at special attacks, and it is still under the advantage of Sunny Day. The flames it ejected, no matter in terms of temperature, concentration or lethality, have reached super strong contest conditions. Luo Ling naturally will not let Haxorus take this trick abruptly. Haxorus, dodge from the left and kick with O3 from the bottom. At this moment, the speed of the evolved Haxorus was improved, and he quickly turned sideways to let the jet of flames pass by his head, attacking Charizard's lower body on his lower body. Bump. Charizard's foot was tripped by success. It was about to hit the ground with its head, but its wings flapped, and its body flew into the air. Did you forget that Charizard can fly? Xiaoyan smiled triumphantly. Charizard's biggest advantage against Haxorus is not speed, nor special attack, but flying. This is an advantage brought about by race. No matter how hard Haxorus tries, it is impossible to break through. If you have the ability, you can always fly in the sky. Haxorus, use Dragon Dance. Of course Luo Ling is aware of Charizard's situation, even if the opponent can fly, but as long as they are fighting, they must be close to Haxorus. Now, just wait patiently for the opportunity. Dragon Dance. Xiaoyan sneered. Then let's come to, use Silver Wind. Mega Charizard Y in the air and Haxorus on the ground let out a roar at the same time, and Dragon Dance can simultaneously improve the speed and attack ability. Silver Wind can improve the user's combat ability in multiple directions. It seems that both sides have chosen to use the ultimate attack to face the battle. I want to see what you use to fight my Charizard. Charizard Y, use Air Slash. Try to keep your distance from each other. Mega Charizard Y responded to Xiaoyan's order, circled twice in the air, gathered the strength of the whole body into the wings, and then bent down and rushed towards Haxorus. At the moment when he was about to get close to Haxorus, Mega Charizard Y suddenly U-turned, and the moment he waved his wings, he turned around and flew high into the sky. At the same time, he released two sharp knives in the air and rushed towards Haxorus. Haxorus, use Shadow Claw continuously to break the opponent's attack. Gabe. Haxorus roared at the flying Air Slash, waved his claws, and released two dark purple paw prints, colliding with Air Slash in midair to offset each other. However, Mega Charizard's attack is not over yet. In a blink of an eye, just as Haxorus finished off Air Slash, the opponent was above the air, flapping its wings continuously towards the ground, releasing a large amount of heat wave. The moment the heat wave blew over, facing such a wide-ranging attack method, there were not so many obstacles on the scene, so Haxorus could only forcefully cover his eyes to avoid being burned by the heat wave. However, before evolving into Haxorus, he was already burned, so under the blessing of heat wave, the power of the burn became stronger and stronger. Luo Ling also understood Xiaoyan's tactics. The main thing is to use the burning contest condition to continuously consume the enemy, and at the same time continuously send out fire-type Pokémon, and use the fire-type moves to gradually expand the damage caused by the burn. Playing a protracted battle in this way is a very powerful tactic for fire-type Pokémon. Haxorus, use Draco Meteor. As soon as these words came out, Xiaorong immediately laughed off Soybean. He couldn't help laughing loudly on the field, and said to Luo Ling, "You don't want to hit my Charizard with Draco Meteor, do you? Do you think my Charizard is slow? What's more, Haxorus is not good at special attack at all. Before Xiao Yan could react, Luo Ling directly asked Haxorus to use the breaking swipe on the ground. Boom. At this moment, a powerful destructive force struck, destroying the playing field in an instant, and many rocks protruded from the ground. At the same time, the continuously falling Draco meteor soaring in the sky hit the ground, forming a lot of dust. The battlefield where there was nowhere to hide suddenly has some more prominent rocks. Haxorus hid behind these stones, thus avoiding the invasion of heat wave. Although the surrounding temperature is indeed rising, it is still better than facing rivals' attack directly. Only now did Xiao Yan realize that Luo Ling's goal was not Charizard from the beginning to the end. It's kind of like having two brushes. But you can only stop there. Charizard Y, before the effect of the heat wave ends, spit up the flames and use Inferno to burn the earth. Mega Charizard Y flying in the air released a lot of flames from his whole body, and the flames hit the field along the heat wave like meteors. For a time, the entire playing field was immersed in the burning of flames like hell. Even if you hide behind rock, you will inevitably be burned by the high temperature of the scene. Heat wave plus Inferno, the combination of these two moves makes Pokémon who don't know the water system really uncomfortable. Fortunately, Haxorus will use Protect to temporarily avoid the high temperature attack. However, this is not a long-term solution. Haxorus, use Dig to hide underground. The moment Haxorus received the instruction, he immediately gave up on Protect, quickly dug a tunnel, and successfully drilled into the ground. In this way, even if the playing field is constantly attacked by high temperature, there is no way to have any effect on Haxorus hiding underground. Since the opponent can fly, Haxorus dig. Now, it depends on who can hold their breath and who is more able to seize the opportunity. Luo Ling has already thought of how to deal with Mega Charizard Y in his mind, but now there is only one opportunity. As long as he can successfully get close to the opponent, Haxorus will definitely be able to defeat Mega Charizard Y, who is good at special attack with his high-strength ultimate physical attack. You don't want to hide underground all the time, do you? That's not like your character. Suddenly, Luo Ling greeted Xiao Yan's morning wind. However, where is the other party going? Luo Ling also responded unceremoniously. Then you don't want to fly in the sky all the time, do you? Elder brother, why bother to say second brother? Besides, you were the one who hid in the sky first. Originally, he wanted to mock Luo Ling as much as he could, but when the other party said that, Xiao Yan's mouth couldn't help twitching, and his expression was ugly. He wanted to refute, but suddenly found that what Luo Ling said seemed to be correct. Except for the very beginning of the game, Mega Charizard Y has been flying and soaring in the sky without even landing on the ground. Is this a tactic? Or dare not? TCH, you're just playing lip service. Charizard Y, let him see your true strength. Rush to the ground, use Bulldoze, and force Haxorus out. In the next second, Mega Charizard Y didn't even have a stockpile, and fell down quickly, and the moment he stretched out his right foot and touched the ground. Boom. The ground shook, and Haxorus, who was hiding underground, had to be blasted out of the ground by the strong shock. Charizard Y, hurry up and grab Haxorus, don't let him hide in the ground. Use Seismic Toss. Seismic Toss, Charizard's classic move, can deal a heavy blow to rival, but it will also suffer some damage. But as a finishing move, it is indeed a very good choice. Mega Charizard Y grabbed Haxorus powerfully, and the moment he waved his wings, he directly brought soaring in the sky to the opponent. Good chance, Haxorus, use close combat. What, are you crazy? The moment Luo Ling finished speaking, Xiao Yan frowned. He didn't expect that the opponent would choose to use close combat at this moment. This was in soaring in the sky, even if Haxorus successfully used this trick, he would fall to the ground and suffer huge damage. Under normal circumstances, if you want to resolve the seismic toss, using Protect is the best choice. But Luo Ling did the opposite, using such a desperate fighting method. Haxorus has great trust in Luo Ling, no matter what order the other party gives, he will do his best to complete it. Therefore, while still in midair, Haxorus grabbed Mega Charizard's wings with his backhand, used melee fighting on him, Comet Punch kicked several times, and successfully hit Mega Charizard's chest and abdomen. Footprint. Climb on top of your opponent's back, hold on to the wings, keep hitting the back with the bulldoze. Gabe. Haxorus actually climbed onto the back of Mega Charizard Y without any ground support and weightlessness. His hands tugged at the air's wings, let Mega Charizard Y send out a painful donghow. Then, several bulldoze kicks in a row, all hitting Mega Charizard Y. Don't give up, continue to sky fly, even if you smash him, you will kill him. Xiao Yan knew that Mega Charizard Y was in extreme pain at this moment, but since he had already been successfully closed combat by the opponent, the more it was at this moment, the more he could not take it lightly, and the more he had to give full play to his own advantages. Haxorus can't fly, falling from a higher place to the ground, the stronger the acceleration of gravity. It will also suffer more damage. Now that the matter has come to this point, Seismic Toss was interrupted, so he can only use this to give the opponent a one-hit kill damage. In this way, I saw two Pokémon entangled in midair, while the height of both sides continued to rise. Soon after, it even reached the ceiling of the gymnasium. Bump. When the two Pokémon entangled, they broke the windshield of the gymnasium, and a large amount of glass shards fell, causing the nearby crowd to leave quickly. As for the two Pokémon cut by glass shards, after a fierce struggle, the physical strength of both sides has been consumed by Dachang. At this moment, Haxorus and Mega Charizard Y were exhausted, and both fell from the sky. Boom. The moment the two Pokémon landed on the ground, a lot of dust was raised, but they went up quickly. Haxorus, stand up. At this moment, Luo Ling could already see Mega Charizard Y dragging his heavy body and standing on the field again. Under the blessing of the power of the dragon, Haxorus, who had suffered a huge fall, half opened his eyes, resisted heavy breathing, and once again confronted Mega Charizard Y head-on. Charizard Y, use Blast Burn. Haxorus, use Outrage. Both Pokémon have used powerful moves, and after using these two moves, they will be affected by the backlash effect of the move. It is enough to see that both Luo Ling and Xiao Yan have decided to make a final impact, wanting to end this battle. In an extreme battle between physical attack and special attack, the two sides hardly used any strong defensive means, and they kept counter-attacking, using offense to resolve rivals' attack. Mega Charizard's whole body was covered with extremely high-temperature flames, and the scales on Haxorus' whole body became extremely sharp, even more flexible and applicable than before. Neither of the two Pokémon dodged, they both chose to face each other head-on. Boom. Accompanied by a violent explosion, Outrage and Blast Burn collided together at the same time, forming a powerful shock wave, whirlwinding many surrounding items. Even Luo Ling and Xiao Yan were sent flying to the edge of the stadium by this powerful impact. The powerful attack of two Pokémon, under the watchful eyes of the public, staged an ultimate violent aesthetics. Only attack, regiment is the means of defense for the strong. Waiting for the smoke and dust on the scene to disperse, the referee hurried forward to check the situation. Charizard, you can't fight. Haxorus wins. The referee saw through the smoke that had not completely dissipated that Charizard of Mega Evolution had returned to the pre-evolution contest condition. And Haxorus, reluctantly stood on the spot, continuing to support his body. Although I am very tired, I will continue to stand on the stage with all my strength until the last moment. Looking at Charizard who had fallen to the ground, Xiao Yan Alliance went up to comfort him personally. Although we lost, you have done a good job. Xiao Yan seems to be more gentle towards Pokémon than Li Changkun. Regardless, Charizard lost to Haxorus. While Haxorus was still able to continue fighting, the referee said to Xiao Yan, this game uses a team with a full quota. Please send your next Pokémon out. However, Xiao Yan replied, I only have two Pokémon, I lost. This surprised everyone present. Only two Pokémon. Under normal circumstances, at the age of 18 and just entering college, even ordinary students will prepare 3 Pokémon. Unexpectedly, Xiao Yan only had 2 of them. This is unreasonable. Chapter 89. Ying Keir appears. Dragonair Civil War. Student, do you really only have 2 Pokémon? Please be sure to abide by the rules of the game. The referee was surprised. He has never seen a situation where he went to college and only had 2 Pokémon. Xiao Yan nodded with certainty, and responded, I only have 2 Pokémon, and they were both defeated and lost. After all, Xiao Yan didn't look back, and left the arena directly. Looking at the back of the other party leaving, probably only Luo Ling who was fighting against him could understand why Xiao Yan only has 2 Pokémon for the time being. Xiao Yan's 2 Pokémon were well breeded by him. Typhlosion, which can emit its own form ability, uses the same move in different attack methods, which requires a lot of time and energy to practice. The Charizard, who can only be Mega Evolution, can kill most rivals in seconds by using the ultimate special attack. Xiao Yan's philosophy is not to pursue quantity, but to pursue quality. Unfortunately, he met Luo Ling. Otherwise, relying on the combination of tactics, it is definitely a dark horse in this game. Since Xiao Yan can't bring out any other Pokémon, the referee just needs to announce. Luo Ling wins. At this moment, Luo Ling has successfully entered the final, and next, he will compete with Yingkai for the championship seat. Li Changkun didn't expect Luo Ling to be so strong. You can win straight away without even using other Pokémon. With such strength, I am afraid that only the last winner can compete with it. Kair, this Luo Ling is too cunning. You must be careful, don't fall into his trick. Li Changkun wants to seize every opportunity to express himself, but in Ying Kair's view, his behavior is due to face. Winning Kair didn't even give an eye reply, and went directly to the next competition venue under the instruction of teacher. On the other side, Luo Ling and Ling Shui also came to the other side of the field. It's the last game, you have to work hard. Ling Shui smiled at the corner of her mouth and showed encouraging eyes. She believed that Luo Ling might be able to shine on the stage. Luo Ling responded and said, just wait for the moment when I win. After finishing speaking, Luo Ling came to the competition stage. Winner has decided to use the battle Pokémon and releases the Pokémon. It's up to you, Dragonair. With a flash of red light, a male Dragonair appeared on the field. Open black lens bracket Dragonair close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket level, 52 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket character, bold close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket ability. Peeling under non-dying contest condition, there is a chance to remove your own status condition, close black lens bracket. Individual values. HP 31, physical attack 31, special attack 31, physical defense 31, special defense 31, speed 31. Open black lens bracket skills. Safeguard, agility, dragon dance, icy wind, water pulse, aqua tail, flamethrower, thunderbolt, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket qualification. Champion close black lens bracket. This is actually a Dragonair that knows many attribute moves. Its own dragon system, fire system, water system, electricity system, ice system, super energy system, normal system, etc. Almost all the attributes that Dragonair can acquire are readily available. It seems that this Dragonair has developed quite comprehensively. Interesting. In this case, there will be a civil war. It's up to you, Dragonair. Bump. When Luo Ling's inward-scrolling dragon appeared, he saw that the opposite side of the battlefield was actually the same kind as himself, and immediately showed a puzzled expression. Proposal. Dragonair, the opponent is a strong opponent, don't take it lightly. The introverted dragon who was originally suspicious became serious in an instant. But before the game starts, Luo Ling has something to ask. What's your relationship with Ying Niangtian? Winning Kair was taken aback, how could Luo Ling know this? As a hermit family, the winner is very low-key, and will not easily disclose family information. Now that Luo Ling has already guessed a rough idea, there is no need to continue to hide it when he wins the lottery. It's my father. What? Want to retaliate for your father? Luo Ling smiled and said nothing. It seems that I guessed right. Ying Kair, Li Chengkun, Xiao Yan, and Li Lizzie are all descendants of the private family. The others, Luo Ling, don't care, but his father was defeated in the war, and now it's time to get his debt back. Dragonair, use agility to approach each other, use Dragon Tail. Proposal. The moment the inward scroll dragon received the command, he mobilized his whole body's strength and quickly slid and rushed out. Winning Kair was not in a hurry, and confidently said to his Dragonair, summon Blizzard. In the blink of an eye, Dragonair's whole body tensed up, exuding a light blue light. In an instant, the temperature of the audience dropped sharply, and a large amount of wind and snow poured in from behind, sweeping the audience. Under Agility's contest condition, the coiled dragon couldn't escape Blizzard's attack. Not only did its speed drop, but it also felt cold all over its body and shivered unavoidably. Seeing that the inner scroll dragon was about to suffer from frostbite, Luo Ling hurriedly recalled it. Don't give rival a break, use the hydro pump. As soon as Yingkair finished speaking, her Dragonair opened its mouth, and used a powerful hydro pump at the inner scroll dragon supporting her on the back. After a brief stockpile, bump, a large amount of torrential water rushed towards the inward scrolling dragon violently. Dragonair, get out of the way and use Thunder Wave on hydro pump. The involved dragon dodged sideways extremely quickly, but after all, its speed was affected, and it barely avoided the hydro pump's attack, but fortunately, its reaction power remained unchanged. Proposal. The inner dragon releases a large amount of Thunder Wave, and because the hydro pump has a wide range and a long distance, it can be easily hit. The energy of electricity passes through the water flow, and reverses to the Dragonair that wins the lottery. In the next second, hydro pump and the water flow decreased significantly until it disappeared, and Dragonair was more affected by Thunder Wave because it used a water-type move. Even if it is only a weak current, it will fall into paralysis contest condition. Great opportunity, agility plus takedown. The involuted dragon increased its speed again. Taking advantage of the moment when rival was paralyzed, it quickly took down and hit the opponent directly to the edge of the competition stage, almost leaving the stage and losing the match frame. Dragonair, are you okay? Winning Kair frowned slightly, carefully observing the situation of Dragonair. Due to the foreshadowing of the water-type moves just now, the influence of Thunder Wave has not yet ended, but with the encouragement of Win Kair, Dragonair still stood up again. Use Water Pulse. Luo Ling didn't understand. He was obviously still in the paralyzed contest condition, and there was still a weak current in his body. If you continue to use water-type moves at this moment, won't it increase the effect of being paralyzed? Before understanding why the other party would take such an action, Water Pulse has already spewed out from Dragonair's mouth. Continue to Thunder Wave. Luo Ling did not believe that Ying Kair would make such a reckless decision. Before figuring out what the other party wants to do, it is better to adopt a safer tactic. When Thunder Wave and Water Pulse touched each other, the current and smooth water flow hit Dragonair again. But this time, Yinwan himself was also affected by Thunder Wave. It turns out that the Water Pulse and Hydro Pump just now have completely wet the site. In this case, unless you can fly, both sides will be affected by any moves that use electricity. This also succeeded in sealing the Thunder Wave of the inner scroll dragon in a disguised form. Now that Thunder Wave is blocked, another tactic will be adopted. Dragonair, use agility to rush over. When Kair does not turn up the corners of his mouth, is it the same move again? In the next second, identify your own Dragonair stockpile and wait. Seeing the inner scroll dragon getting closer and closer, he immediately gave an order, pour cold water out. This time, what gushes out of Dragonair's mouth is extremely cold ice water. Getting hit by icy water doesn't do much damage, but it's enough to incapacitate the Pokémon, reducing rival's offensive ability. However, Luo Ling will not simply use agility. Now, speed up and use extreme speed to dash sideways. Proposal. The Invul dragon maximized its own speed, using its flexible body to dodge the cold water splashed by Haken, circled to the left, swung its tail vigorously, and slammed into rival with lightning speed. Bump. With such a fast speed, the winning Dragonair has no time to dodge. Winner didn't expect that Luo Ling's Dragonair would be so fast. Both are Dragonair, and the opponent's speed is even better. This is all due to Luo Ling's private non-stop training of Dragonair. Moreover, most of the time is spent training Dragonair's speed, which is bound to bring its high-speed ability to the extreme and cultivate it into a fast attacker. When there is nothing to do on weekdays, Dragonair has been receiving training. It is precisely because of such hard work that his speed is faster than other Dragonairs. Otherwise, how could it be called an inward-scrolling dragon? Winner's Dragonair develops in many aspects, and has many attribute moves. But so what? At least so far, the Dragonair that won the lottery does not have a specialization feature. But the inner scroll dragon is different. Speed is the key to its victory. Go ahead, use Dragon Tail. The inward rolling dragon continued to take advantage of its speed, gathering its strength at the tail before the opponent could react. The body rotated a few times and threw Dragon Tail over. Ying Keir realized that he did not have an advantage in terms of speed. In this case, she ordered, Dragonair, use 10 million volt Thunderbolt on the entire field. Electric-type moves tend to be released faster. Dragon Tail has not yet hit rival, and the whole field is covered by electricity. As a result, the two Dragonairs received Thunderbolt's Thunder Shock at the same time, and the Dragon Tail that might have caused fatal damage was also successfully interrupted. This wave can be said to hurt the enemy 1000 and self-damage 800. But in order to be able to resist the opponent's attack, this is also a last resort choice. Ying Keir couldn't help frowning slightly, but fortunately her Dragonair is not weak, and it can still survive against the Thunder Shock just now. Only at this time, the two Dragonairs were paralyzed at the same time. The atmosphere at the scene became anxious for a while. Proposal. Everyone in the Scroll Dragon has been paralyzed, and they still want to fight as much as possible. The same is true for the winning Dragonair. Two Pokémon were lying on the ground at the same time, looking at each other with sharp eyes. When the eyes of the two Pokémon met each other, a burst of flash suddenly came out from the body of Dragonair who won the lottery. Then, his body slowly squirmed backwards, taking off a layer of skin on his body, and immediately released the original paralysis contest condition. It's the ability to peel off. When it is affected by the status condition, Dragonair can relieve the abnormal condition in this way. It is precisely because of this ability that Ying Keir adopts such an aggressive fighting method. One-hit kill, end rival. Use Giga Impact up close. After the Dragonair released the paralyzed contest condition, it quickly came to the inward scroll dragon. While the opponent was still in the paralyzed contest condition, it concentrated all its strength on the head and rushed over, successfully hitting the involved dragon. Using Giga Impact at such a close range, and the inner dragon is still paralyzed, winner feels that his Dragonair is better. It's just that when the impact was over, Luo Ling's inner scroll dragon was burned all over, the paralysis effect ended, and he stood up again. How can that be? Even though I didn't dodge just now, Giga Impact successfully hit. Ying Keir was very surprised. How could such a powerful offensive move like Giga Impact fail to kill rival? The corners of Luo Ling's mouth turned up slightly. Do you think my Dragonair has the same ability as yours? As soon as these words came out, Ying Keir immediately realized that Luo Ling's Dragonair ability is a magical scale. The number of Dragonairs with this ability is extremely small, and the magical scales can be regarded as a hidden ability. After possessing this ability, the physical resistance will increase by 50% under the influence of status condition. And the Giga Impact used just now happens to be a powerful offensive move on the physical offensive end. Under the ability of the magical scales, it failed to kill Luo Ling's Dragonair in one blow. But after using this fierce attacking move, like Hyper Beam, it will be backlashed by the move and temporarily lose its ability to move. It may be because of the direct collision just now, the inward scrolling dragon is extremely angry at this time, and the killing intent is revealed in the eyes. Show it off. Use Dragon Rush. Proposal. The inward rolling dragon roared, and it leapt into midair. With its heavy acceleration, it felt the power of controlling the dragon, and used Dragon Rush. Boom. Dragonair, who was unable to move, received a violent blow. When the inner scroll dragon stood on Luo Ling's side again, Dragonair, who won the lottery, exhausted all his strength and fell to the ground. Dragonair, you can't fight. Dragonair wins. Until he said this sentence, the referee himself felt a little strange. Regardless of the outcome of this duel, Dragonair will definitely win. Winning Keir took a deep breath and quickly took back the scarred Dragonair. You are really good. No wonder it's been able to go so far. However, your Dragonair probably won't be able to hold on any longer. When Ying Keir said these words, Luo Ling laughed awkwardly. Indeed, Winner's Dragonair is indeed more comprehensive than himself in the combination of moves. Especially the one that hurts the enemy 1000 and self-damages 800, and at the same time removes the chain of its own negative effects. This kind of tactic can indeed guarantee that even if it loses, it can also deal very heavy damage to rival, making it impossible for him to participate in the next round. Bureau. At least, a successful one for one pool. And Luo Ling also believes that Dragonair is definitely not the strongest Pokémon to win the lottery. The first game is just to make enough preparations before the powerful Pokémon enters the field, and wipe out the enemies as much as possible. Although Luo Ling's Dragonair has not yet entered the dying contest condition, if he wants to continue fighting, he may not be able to hold on for a few minutes before falling down. That being the case, it might be better to just replace the Pokémon from the start. Dragonair, I'm so sorry for you. You've done a great job. While talking, Luo Ling took Dragonair back. Compared with letting Harkon continue to fight and consume rival, Luo Fan doesn't want his Pokémon to suffer unnecessary damage. Although in Kunlun University, the teachers will definitely ensure that the Pokémon of the students will not die, but it is naturally the best to avoid the dangerous contest condition as much as possible. Chapter 90 Garchomp Mega Evolution. Please send out the Pokémon from both players. Since Luo Ling decided to replace Pokémon, the referee quickly reminded the two. Win Kair did not forget to tell Luo Ling when deciding which Pokémon to play. I was the one who released Pokémon first, why don't you choose this time? No problem, then I will choose Rumbling Moon to fight. It doesn't matter to Luo Ling, since the other party is also a dragon family, the Pokémon used will not be out of the scope of the dragon family. Haxorus had only fought before, so he sent Roar and fought. It's just that at this moment, the damage on the Roaring Moon is not completely healed, so I'm afraid it will be a bit difficult to fight. After Roaring Moon appeared, Win Kair also held back the Pokeball. Come out, fly hungry. Salamence's figure then disappeared from the red light and appeared on the field. This caused many people watching the game to discuss. The last round was Dragonair Civil War. This game is a civil war in Salamence. At least, that's how it looks in the eyes of others. For the Rumbling Moon, except for Luo Ling, everyone else just regards it as a newly discovered new form of Salamence. However, although Roaring Moon and Salamence are distant relatives, there are still certain differences. Luo Ling would not explain so much, and opened the eyes of Data. Open black lens bracket Salamence Dragon close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket level, 54 close black lens bracket. Character, Frank. Ability, Intimidation. When entering the field or obtaining this ability, the attacks of all enemies will drop. Individual values. HP 31, Physical Attack 31, Special Attack 31, Physical Defense 31, Special Defense 31, Speed 31. Skills. Roost, Dual Wingbeat, Aerial Ace, Psychic Fangs, Fire Blast, Hurricane, Flamethrower, Air Slash, Dragon Claw, Dragon Pulse. Open black lens bracket qualification. Champion close black lens bracket. The Salamence that won the lottery learned most of the moves of the flying type, and is better at air combat. If I didn't guess wrong, I should have seen Luo Ling use the Roaring Moon, so I sent Salamence, just like Luo Ling sent Dragonair last time. If this is the case, such behavior is a bit naive. As soon as Salamence entered the court, he let out a manic roar. Rumbling Moon was frightened by the frenzy, and paused for a moment. It's the intimidating ability. Luo Ling is not to be outdone, he is also a dragon type, who is afraid of whom? Roaring Moon, create a battlefield that suits you best. While speaking, the power of the dragon spread all over the whole body of the roaring target in an instant. The latter flapped its wings and flew to the sky 787 in the gymnasium, roaring at the sunlight outside the glass cover of the ceiling. In the next second, under Sunny Day's bath, Rumbling Moon's whole body glowed with a layer of faint white light, and the ancient active ability was exerted. No, its ability, as if no one has it. At this moment, Win Kair suddenly showed doubts. Why would you name your Salamence Rumbling Moon? Is it to show how special it is? Indeed, Rumbling Moon is different from ordinary Salamence in terms of appearance and body shape. The height and weight are higher, and the appearance also gives people a more brutal feeling. If you can beat me, maybe I can tell you why. The corners of Luo Ling's mouth turned up slightly. Continued. Roaring Moon, rush over and use Dragon Claw. In terms of physical attack, Roar is also a super strong physical attack player. But Salamence and Roaring Moon are already related, so there is not much difference in ability between the two. The key to this battle depends on how the trainer is usually a breeder and how capable he is in battle. Then get ready to speak. Salamence, also use Dragon Claw. With Luo Ling and Win Kair both giving the same order, Salamence and Rumbling Moon collided with each other in the air. The confrontation between the Dragon Claws appeared so exciting in midair. The two Pokemon's claws bounced off each other and continued to collide for a moment. However, there is still a slight gap. Rumbling Moon's Dragon Claw, which is sharper, bounces off rival's Dragon Claw while also dealing damage to Salamence, which remains intact. What happened? It's all Salamence, the physical attack should be about the same. And my Salamence can reduce rival's attack. Seeing that Salamence was gradually losing the upper hand, Yinkair talked to himself. It's just that she didn't know that even if she just came out, Rumbling Moon was affected by Salamence's ability, but in Sunny Day's environment, such an influence is not surprising at all, not to mention the power of Yulong. At this time, the physical attack of the Roaring Moon is extremely sensitive. Win Kair, who is also very familiar with Dragon-type Pokemon, immediately noticed something was wrong. Since you can't fight against things, then change the way of fighting. Unlike Roaring Moon, Salamence also has a good performance in special attack. Salamence back off, use Dragon Pulse. In the face of Rumbling Moon's next attack, Salamence stopped abruptly, letting Rumbling Moon miss out. At the same time, he opened the distance, Salamence opened his mouth, and after a short stockpile, the Redao shock wave successfully hit the Roaring Ear. Keep on the offensive, disrupting rival with Dragon Breath. Taking a deep breath, Salamence blew out a large amount of airflow, forcing the trajectory of Rumbling Moon flying to be changed, and he had to temporarily return to ground to readjust the contest condition. It still seems a little difficult. Can you still hold on? Rumbling Moon's injury is still not healed, and it is indeed a disadvantage to be as big as Salamence, who has full contest condition. However, Rumbling Moon showed her tenacious willpower at this moment. Boom. Called at Luo Ling, the two sides glanced at each other, and Luo Ling also understood the other party's intention to continue fighting. In that case, let's give it a go. The opponent's physical attack cannot defeat us. Keep on rival and don't let the opponent distance you. We also have an advantage in speed. Rumbling Moon's injuries would worsen with the continuous fighting, so Luo Ling simply gave as few instructions as possible, letting Rumbling Moon implement simple tactics to maximize his physical strength. The moment she flapped her wings and flew into the air, Ying Kaier also felt something was wrong with the roaring moon. Salamence, quickly distance yourself, don't get close, find a way to consume rival with air slash. In this way, two Pokémon started a chase battle in the sky of the stadium. Rumbling Moon chases and Salamence runs, during which the latter will also use long-range moves to consume, but Rumbling Moon puts all his focus on Salamence, taking advantage of the slight advantage in speed, coupled with the magic of quick dodge skills, constantly narrowing the distance between himself and Salamence. Salamence, use the Dragon Dance. Seeing that the situation was not right, Winning Lottery immediately issued an order. But Salamence knows the skills, and Rumbling Moon almost knows it too. Both Pokémon use Dragon Dance. Speed and attack power have been improved. Just because there are constantly appearing air slash hindering it, each time it is always a little bit worse, and the roaring moon can be said. Don't give up, you can do it. Luo Ling on the ground yells at the pink Pokémon in the air. Rumbling Moon suddenly felt Luo Ling's winning mood, and when he was bathed in the sun again, the ancient active ability seemed to have changed. Originally, it was only to strengthen the physical attack ability, but in the roaring moon, it gradually gained an advantage in speed, and the ancient active ability gradually acted on the speed. Whoosh! At this moment, Rumbling Moon suddenly accelerated. The sound wave formed by breaking through the speed of the upper limit version resounded throughout the gymnasium. Just when the arena restorer thought that the workload would increase again, the roaring moon came to Salamence and went hand in hand with him. How can your Salamence be so fast? Winner never understood why Luo Ling's Salamence is so unique. Not only is the physical attack higher than normal Salamence, but the speed is also faster. It's now. Roaring Moon, one-hit kills. Giga Impact. With super high speed, Roaring Moon pulled out all the stops and knocked Salamence into the stands on the east side of the stadium. Salamence, use Hyper Beam. Before the two Pokémon were about to collide in the stands, Salamence subconsciously made Salamence use a move with amazing damage. Luo Ling really didn't expect that when Salamence, who won the lottery, needed a shorter stockpile time than other Pokémon when using Hyper Beam. Even though the Roaring Moon was extremely fast, it was still hit at the last moment. A large amount of dust was emitted from the east stand, and the referee rushed over to check the situation. After confirming that it was correct, the result was announced to the audience. Both Salamences can't continue fighting. Draw. After the result was announced, Ying Kaier and Luo Ling glanced at each other in unison, and rushed to the east side to check the situation of their own Pokémon. Both Pokémon are not life-threatening, just unconscious. At the same time, the Pokémon was taken back, and the two reached the competition stage at the same time. You also seem to have a Doran Messia, and a Haxorus available. In terms of the number of Pokémon, you have more than me. But my Garchomp is not vegetarian. Come out, Garchomp. Winner doesn't know that Luo Ling has tamed a Bagon after enrolling, and she only has the last Pokémon left, but it is her trump card in the first Pokémon. It is also one of Breeder's best. Garchomp, Mega Evolution. As soon as he entered the shopping mall, Ying Kaier couldn't wait to use his last whole card. Luo Ling quickly checked its specific information. Open black lens bracket Garchomp, Dragon, Ground, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket level, 57 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket character, Brave close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket ability, Sand Hidden increased dodge rate in sandstorm weather, and will not be affected by sandstorm weather, close black lens bracket. Individual values. HP 31, physical attack 31, special attack 31, physical defense 31, special defense 31, speed 31. Skills. Dig, Dragon Rush, Take Down, Protect, Sandstorm, Rest, Sleep Talk, Sword Dance, Power Gem, Earth Power, Liquidation. Open black lens bracket qualification, Champion close black lens bracket. After Garchomp Mega Evolution, ability also changed from Sand Invisibility to Sand Power. When Luo Ling fought against Li Chungkun before, Luo Ling had seen the power of sand, which should not be underestimated. And the level of this Garchomp has reached an astonishing level of 57. It seems that only by sending Haxorus can it fight against it. If Doran Messiah is sent, the level difference between the two sides is too large, I am afraid they will not be able to handle it. Why, haven't you decided on which Pokémon yet? It's the first time I've seen you so indecisive. Ying Kaier frowned slightly, it didn't look like Luo Ling's behavior. It's up to you, Haxorus. With a flash of red light, Haxorus appeared in front of Mega Garchomp. 2. When Pokémon met, they were extremely jealous, and they all roared at each other. The momentum is good. With this momentum, rush to use Crunch. Gabe. Haxorus rushed towards Mega Garchomp quickly, but the opponent didn't seem to want to face it head-on. Garchomp, use Power Gem to seal the opponent's actions. Mega Garchomp turned his back to Haxorus, and a jewel-like light suddenly shot from his back, hitting Haxorus' eyes. While moving forward, Haxorus' eyes were suddenly shaken, and he had to cover his eyes with both hands, but happened to be exploited by the opponent, and was directly and heavily hit by a dragon tail. Hit the ground. Seeing this, Luo Ling frowned slightly. He found that the opposite Mega Garchomp was very good in terms of physical attack. The dragon tail just now seemed to be more powerful than Haxorus, who was also good at physical attacks. However, After Haxorus stood up again, he stared fixedly at the other party, but his heart was full of fighting spirit. Haxorus, use Dragon Dance. After a jubilant din, Haxorus was given a boost of speed and aggression. But suddenly Ying Kaier's laughter came from the opposite side. When it comes to physical attack, my Garchomp will not admit defeat. Use Dig to approach rival, use Poison Jab. As soon as the words fell, Mega Garchomp quickly disappeared in front of his eyes, only a sudden movement came from the ground, but he still couldn't tell which direction it was. It wasn't until the last second that Luo Ling and Haxorus reacted when Mega Garchomp bounced up from the ground and appeared beside Haxorus. Use Protect. Clang. The sharp spikes of Mega Garchomp collided with the rapidly formed protective cover, making a crisp sound. Immediately afterwards, Mega Garchomp launched several consecutive attacks. The opponent's attack speed was so fast and so fierce that the tiger and the dragon had no power to parry at all. He could only hide inside the protective cover, and suddenly lost all confidence. It can also feel that there is a big gap between the Mega Garchomp in front of it and itself. Even if it has survived this attack, but the opponent's extreme martial arts and speed. It's really not easy to deal with. Bump. Suddenly, a crack appeared in Protect's protective cover. Before he could react, the protective cover was directly broken by the opponent. Use the Dragon Claw. Haxorus, fight recklessly with the opponent, using the same moves. Luo Ling gave the command a little later, but Haxorus relied on his excellent reflexes, and the moment Haxorus used the Dragon Claw like the opponent, the two Pokemon's paws touched each other. The sharp sound immediately resounded through the audience. Come on, do your best. With a loud cry, Luo Ling poured out all the power of controlling the dragon, and all of it was attached to Haxorus. When the two Pokemon fight, it can be said to form the focus of the audience. Even the referee, who was relatively close, felt a strong visual impact on the battle between the two. The growl that the two Pokemon fired during the confrontation, and the fighting spirit between the dragon Pokemon that originated from the blood, rendered the atmosphere of the audience to the extreme. With the blessing of the power of the dragon, Haxorus finally recovered the contest condition. One claw directly pushed Mega Garchomp back successfully, and also hit the opponent's chest, leaving a scar. However, Yuan Kaier was not panicked at all. Garchomp, use Sleep Talk while resting. The moment Mega Garchomp received the instruction, he actually closed his eyes directly, but he didn't collapse on the ground, but fell asleep while standing like this. At the same time as Mega Garchomp rest, the wound on his chest that was scratched just now can be seen recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye. Chapter 91 Explosion. Axon Fetter's Evolution. Under the effect of Sleep Talk, Mega Garchomp also randomly used the previously used moves. Garchomp's tail emitted a strange white light, and he charged directly with Dragon Tail. The combination of rest and Sleep Talk is indeed a very good tactic. Luo Ling was also unable to make Haxorus continue to use Protect. If this trick is used continuously, its power will be greatly reduced. Haxorus, use Breaking Swipe on the ground while the opponent is in the rest. Gabe. Haxorus first dodged the opponent's attack, then gathered all his strength in his hands, and hit the ground hard. Boom. At this moment, the ground suddenly sank, and a large number of cracks appeared. And it was precisely because of this that the sleeping Mega Garchomp had to wake up from his sleep. About 1/3 of the wounds that were already recovering at an accelerated rate have not completely healed. It seems that because the rest was interrupted, Mega Garchomp got up, shouted at Haxorus' roar, and directly used Dragon Pulse. The moment he opened his mouth, a powerful shock wave was set off. Although Mega Garchomp is a very good physical attacker, his agents are not weak either. The Dragon Pulse he released immediately stirred up dust around him. And Haxorus, who had just destroyed the field, had no chance to dodge. Haxorus, go straight up and break through with Iron Head. The moment he received the order, Haxorus, who was still at a loss, immediately became determined. Under the blessing of the power of Yulong, gather all the power on the head, and rush directly against the Dragon Pulse. How can you use such a style of play? Isn't this asking for trouble for your own Pokemon? Winning Kair really doesn't understand why Luo Ling made such a judgment. Even using Protect again is definitely better than rushing through with Dragon Pulse. But what she never expected was that Haxorus was very good at using Iron Head's move. Even though under the pressure of Dragon Pulse, Haxorus was injured in many places, but with his strong will and endurance, Haxorus forcibly took off the whole Dragon Pulse, slammed into Mega Garchomp successfully. The latter only felt that there was a sudden impact on the wound on his chest that hadn't healed, and he couldn't help foaming at the mouth, and his body unconsciously fell backwards. After standing up again, Haxorus was full of fighting spirit. Even though he was injured, he was still full of offensive tendency. It seems that you still have some skills. But your Haxorus is probably going to lose it by now. I just fought not long ago, and now I have suffered so much damage, I want to see how long your Pokemon can last. Garchomp, use Sandstorm, change the scene environment. As Mega Garchomp kicked up a wave of dust, the trend of the dust gradually increased, and a large amount of sand and stones filled the air, and Mega Garchomp's sand power ability was instantly activated. The power of all rock, steel and ground moves has been improved. This greatly enhances Mega Garchomp's combat effectiveness. Luo Ling is not in a hurry, and Haxorus also has moves that can be enhanced in sandstorm weather. Haxorus, attack from the ground with Dig. As soon as the voice fell, Haxorus disappeared on the battlefield. As the ground continued to hear sparse sounds, Win Kair suddenly smiled at this moment. Garchomp, also use Dig, get Haxorus out for me. Whoosh. There was only a sound of Zisuo, and Mega Garchomp got under the ground. It didn't take long for the two Pokémon to meet in the underground, and a tough guy showdown ensued. Hitting from underground to the ground, the site was destroyed again. It's just that when using Dragon Claw and Dragon Tail mutually, Mega Garchomp still has the upper hand in terms of physical attack alone. After several consecutive rounds, even though Mega Garchomp was also injured, it was obvious that Haxorus' injury was more serious. Bump. On the final blow, Haxorus was knocked to the ground. Mega Garchomp finally got a chance to breathe, and retreated to the rear, gasping for breath. Winner originally thought that this wave could take away rival directly, but now it seems that Haxorus' fighting will is stronger than she imagined. Gab. Despite being bruised, Garchomp simply stood up again. Haxorus, can you hold on? There are other Pokémon in Luo Ling's hands that can participate in the battle. Looking at Haxorus's dying contest condition, he is about to take out the Pokeball to take it back. But suddenly felt the tenacious will conveyed by Haxorus. It still wants to keep fighting. Read to the last moment, never give up lightly. Hint. The system has detected a resonance between the host and the host. Open black lens bracket the power of Yulong, due to the breakthrough, close black lens bracket. Boom. At this moment, Luo Ling suddenly felt that his own dragon power was getting stronger and continuously overflowing. So, he took advantage of the situation and swung his fist, pouring all the force into Haxorus' body. Haxorus had trouble even standing up. But after receiving this power of controlling the dragon, the power of the whole body explodes, and the mutual induction between trainer and Pokémon makes the bond between them stronger and stronger. At this moment, Haxorus, who had received the burst of power to control the dragon, unexpectedly erupted with a fierce light of evolution. It's just that this light of evolution seems to be different from what Mikey has seen before, with a little more color. Bond evolution. Luo Ling recognized the uniqueness of this evolutionary light at a glance. This is only when the bond, tacit understanding and trust between the trainer and Pokémon have reached the extreme, the bond evolution that may occur. And this evolutionary method is extremely rare. At present, there are not many pictures of Pokémon that can fetter evolution. Gabe. Haxorus' whole body was wrapped in a coat of energy. After the light of evolution ended, a piece suddenly protruded from his back, forming wings. At this time, the data eye also updated the information on Haxorus. After the bond evolved, Haxorus' ability was changed. Now there are two abilities. The first one is Fengrui. When a Pokémon with this ability uses cutting moves, the law will be greatly improved. The second ability is adaptability. This ability can double the power of Haxorus after the evolution of the fetters when using the same dragon moves. Although the current situation of Haxorus is still not optimistic, Luo Ling is confident of winning this battle with the new ability after the evolution of the fetters. It was the light of evolution just now. The teachers on the viewing platform were suddenly stunned. But what evolution? It doesn't seem to belong to Mega Evolution. Just when everyone felt very puzzled, they couldn't help but cast their eyes on Wang Xuan's. Wang Xuan's lived up to expectations and expressed his own understanding. Just now is indeed not in the category of Mega Evolution. That kind of light, if I'm not mistaken, should belong to the Bond Evolution. Bond Evolution. This is an evolutionary type that has only been seen in books. Although Pokémon has also appeared in the history, but very few, the vast majority of people in this world have never used this evolutionary method. I didn't expect it to appear on such a young man. Winner was very surprised, and quickly asked, Haxorus can also Mega Evolution. Obviously, she mistook the Bond Evolution just now for Mega Evolution. But I didn't see the evolution stone necessary for Mega Evolution. Luo Ling was still a little worried at first, but at this moment, the corners of his mouth gradually raised, revealing a confident expression. Haxorus, use the Dragon Claw. Gabe. With a howl, Haxorus approached Mega Garchomp. Win Kyer is not panic. If he wants to fight physical attack, he doesn't think his Garchomp will lose. However, when the two Pokémon used Dragon Claw at the same time again, the situation suddenly changed drastically. Mega Garchomp, who clearly had the upper hand before, was scratched by Haxorus for some reason. It can be clearly seen that Haxorus' Dragon Claw has become sharper for some reason, and it is extremely penetrating and lethal. When each claw comes down, it can go straight to the vital point. It didn't last for 3 or 2 rounds, and Garchomp was obviously at a disadvantage. Keep using Dragon Tail. With Luo Ling's order, Haxorus will use all the moves of this department, and each time the pattern can be multiplied. Such a large lethality made Mega Garchomp unable to react for a while, and was hit several times in succession. Win Kyer couldn't help frowning. It was the first time she saw Haxorus can Mega Evolution. And after Mega Evolution, the power almost increased exponentially. Don't be spoiled, use Dragon Pulse. As soon as Yin Kyer finished speaking, Garchomp opened his mouth and released a large number of shock waves. Show off your new abilities, fly to the sky, and use Dragon Dance. Haxorus Wing Fly. Although it is the first time to fly, but it has shown a very high talent. While soaring in the air, it constantly dodges the attack of Dragon Pulse. Moreover, flying speed is faster than expected. Even if he is attacked continuously, he seems to be able to handle it with ease. Especially after using Dragon Dance, the speed has also been enhanced, and the body looks lighter. After waiting until Mega Garchomp finished releasing his move, finally ushered in the opportunity. Just dash through, just use Outrage. Do your best to end this wave of battle. 0. Asking for flowers, 0. Outrage, one of the most powerful moves of the dragon system. After getting the strengthening of power, destroy people. And with the ability of flying, Haxorus' movement speed is greatly enhanced. The moment it was approaching the ground, it was like a meteor shell normal, quickly hitting Mega Garchomp. Boom. The scene seemed to be hit by a mortar shell, and the floor was completely shattered, causing countless people watching the battle to retreat. The referee also got up quickly and went to a safe place to check. The result was not announced to everyone present until it was confirmed that Garchomp had returned from Mega form. Garchomp. No fighting. Haxorus wins. Then, he continued to ask about winning the lottery. Student, do you have any other Pokémon? Win Kair shook his head. The referee continued to announce. The champion of the freshman competition is born, and the champion is Luo Ling. As soon as these words came out, Luo Ling immediately breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't care about the scene for him. The voice of cheering hurried to the important stage of the competition to check the situation of Haxorus. This moment, Haxorus has ended his bonded evolution and returned to his original form. It's just that he was a little tired and exhausted at the moment because he had suffered a lot of injuries. You did a great job. Thanks to you today, I was able to win for me. Hearing what Luo Ling said, even the tired Haxorus smiled. At this moment, many medical staff at the scene hurried forward. Haxorus is in good condition and there is no danger to his life. 0. Asterisk 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 asterisk. But Garchomp's situation appears to be serious. After suffering such a big shock, he has already fallen into a deep coma, and he doesn't know when he will be able to wake up. At the same time, Ling Shui also came to the stage of the competition, took out the energy cubes that had been prepared in advance, and quickly fed them to Haxorus. I didn't expect you to hide such a big secret. Ling Shui suddenly proved it, which made Luo Ling a little confused. What secret am I hiding? Of course it's Mega Evolution, and you're unique in the world. Among all the current records, there is no record that Haxorus can Mega Evolution. It turned out that Ling Shui was talking about this. Luo Ling cried and laughed, and immediately explained. It wasn't Mega Evolution just now, it should be another kind, bonded evolution. Have you forgotten the conditions of Mega Evolution? I didn't use any evolutionary stones just now. Ling Shui was taken aback. If it is a Fetter evolution, it is even rarer than Mega Evolution. This is a big discovery. Two people are discussing about evolution here. Winning Kair is not quiet at all. Li Lizzie, Li Chengkun and Xiao Yan watched the battle just now, and I was stunned. Originally, among the 4 people, there were 3 hidden families, and Li Chengkun and Xiao Yan were the strongest. But after watching today's game, I realized that Win Kair is the strongest. The 3 of them never thought that Yin Kair's strength would be so terrifying. It turns out that the ordinariness shown in normal times is just a disguise. If there is a real comparison, Li Chengkun and Xiao Yan are not winning rivals at all. Paramedics spoke to Win Lottery after they determined Garchomp's condition. The current condition of your Pokémon is not very good. We will take it back to the medical center for treatment. We will inform you of the follow-up situation, and you can come and have a look at it at any time. After speaking, the 2 sides nodded to each other. The medical staff hurriedly sent Garchomp back to the medical center. Originally thought Win Kair would suddenly follow. To Luo Ling's surprise, after confirming that his Garchomp was fine, Yin Kair came to him on his own initiative. So it wasn't Mega Evolution just now. Winning Kair heard the conversation between Luo Ling and Ling Shui. Luo Ling hurriedly took Haxorus back to the Pokeball. You don't want to retaliate your Pokémon, so you want to call me. Luo Ling said slightly jokingly. Win Kair couldn't help laughing. Didn't expect you guys to be funnier than I thought. It's even kind of humorous. The bond evolution was suddenly triggered during the battle, which may attract the attention of the school teachers. But it has nothing to do with me. I came to you for other reasons. I believe you will be interested. Just as she was about to continue speaking, Yuan Kaiwu suddenly glanced at Ling Shui who was beside Lu Fan. Obviously, she didn't want the other party to hear what she was going to say next. Luo Ling was also very curious, wanting to hear what the other party wanted to say. So, he first said to Ling Shui, you go back and wait for me first, I will be right back. Ling Shui nodded, glanced at Yin Kair, and then left. Chapter 92, Yin Kair's Invitation. Sanlongwei. If you have anything to say, just say it directly, without beating around the bush. After Ling Shui left, Luo Ling looked at Yin Kair indifferently. In the past, Yin Kair's father had defeated Luo Hongji, and it was one of the few moments in Luo Hongji's life when he was defeated. Now, as a junior, Luo Ling successfully defeated Yin Kair, which can be regarded as a shame for his old father. Could it be that you can't afford to lose the lottery, so you are going to come here and ask for an explanation? It seems that you are indeed very strong. Are you interested in participating in the 3 Dragons Club? Sanlongwei. This is the first time Luo Ling has heard of it. However, looking at the name, it should be related to the dragon Pokémon. Seeing Luo Ling's puzzled look, he was surprised to win the lottery. You haven't heard of Sanlongwei, have you? Luo Ling nodded. After that, Chuan introduced Sanlongwei to Luo Ling. The so-called Sanlongwei is a traditional contest of 3 top dragon families. Its purpose is to select the best young generation among the 3 races to accept the test of God. Do you know the Long family? That is one of the 3 families, and the other 2 are the Baki family of Neon Country and the Clarence family of Western Europe. These 3 aristocratic families are indeed quite secretive. Although it is not impossible to find everything on the internet, there will be relatively less information. However, Luo Ling has heard about the Long family, and it is indeed a relatively powerful family. What does the gathering of these three families have to do with your winner? Luo Ling was slightly confused. Ying Keier also concealed it, and said directly, Winner and Long's family are actually one family. After a millennium-long marriage, our two families are compatible by blood, and we are already a family. Therefore, when the Three Dragons meeting is held, our winners will also go with the Long family. Actually, at the beginning, only the main family was allowed to participate in Sanlongwei, and members of vassal families or foreign surnames were not allowed to participate in 967. It's only because no one in the three families has been able to obtain God's approval for 100 years, so they gradually let go. Speaking of this, there seemed to be a bleak flash across Ying Keier's face. Luo Ling can understand that the winner can go to the Sanlongwei. After all, the winner and the Long family are considered together. But the Luo family seems to have nothing to do with the Sanlongwei, and there is no reason to participate. Even if Sanlongwei has been gradually liberalized in the past 100 years, it is only limited to vassal families, or people with foreign surnames of the same clan. Could it be that Luo Ling is going to join the winners? This is impossible, but what has all this to do with me? I am neither a member of the three clans, nor a member of a vassal family. Luo Ling is actually quite interested in this Sanlongwei. According to Ying Keier, each of the three families has a guardian dragon, known as the Three Dragons of the Wei. These three dragons were originally split from a real dragon that was powerful enough to be overwhelmed. Luo Ling really wants to see what this real dragon looks like. I hope you can represent our winner and play for the winner. I have no hope of being recognized by the gods and awakening the dragon. But you are different. You are stronger than me and have more opportunities than me. When he said this, Ying Keier's eyes were full of recognition and respect for Luo Ling. Are you really willing to give me this opportunity? Luo Ling asked a question. After all, it all came a little suddenly. The winner and the Luo family used to have no friendship. Suddenly want to represent the winner to participate in the Sanlongwei, what secrets are there? It's not that I am willing to give you this opportunity. It's because I don't want to give up this opportunity to the other two families. I heard that this year's Baki family and Clarence family have very powerful people participating in the Sanlongwei, and there is great hope that they will be recognized by the Dragon God. Do you wish to allow foreigners this opportunity? Since you are more hopeful than me, why not let you go? At least, we are from the same country. What Ying Keier said was impassioned. Even Luo Ling thought it made sense. Since it is the Dragon God with the ability to extinguish the sky and destroy the earth, it is indeed best not to hand it over to outsiders. At least, between national interests, the Luo family, the Long family and the winners should stand on the united front. How would you like to join me? In today's battle, the winner and the loser are convinced. Therefore, I sincerely extend an invitation to Luo Ling. Luo Ling still has doubts. If I promise you, what good will it do? Is it only possible to get the Dragon God's approval? The question is very simple. Ying Keier told Luo Ling that if he participated in the Three Dragons Fair, he would enter the secret realm of the Holy Land of the Dragon God. Even if he can't get the Dragon God's approval, the opportunity in the secret realm is very rare for trainer. Since it is a secret sacred place related to the Dragon God, whether it is the baptism of qualifications or the search for secret treasures, it is not an ordinary opportunity to get. This is indeed a reason that can impress Luo Ling very much. But, let Luo Ling represent the winner. This matter is still up for debate. I can't promise you yet, I'll think about it when I go back tonight. I'll give you an answer tomorrow at the latest. Winning Keier nodded, indicating that there is no problem. After finishing speaking, I turned directly to the treatment center to accompany my Pokémon. At the scene, when Luo Ling won the championship, the audience was still cheering. But after all, this is just a simple freshman competition held within the school. The main purpose is to select seed players, so there is no need for an award ceremony or something. Wang Xuans came to Luo Ling and said, "Congratulations on winning the championship. Come with me, I'll take you to the school's treasure house, where you can choose a prize to take away from the treasure curry." School treasure. Luo Ling's eyes lit up. Kunlun University is a school of this level, and it is backed by the Kunlun Mountains and the secret place. There must be a lot of good things in school curry noodles. So, he quickly followed. Although there is no award ceremony for the champion, it is a bit shabby, but in front of the baby, what about the shabby? What we want is pragmatism. As the saying goes, it is better to pay a huge sum of money directly to ask for warmth. Luo Ling is not short of money, but treasures. You are as strong as your father. But you are stronger than your father at the same age. Suddenly, Wang Xuans, who was walking in front, spoke. Luo Ling felt something was wrong, and asked, "Teacher, are you and my father familiar?" "Forget it, I'm his student. When Luo Sr. was in school, he only lost once, and that was Shinshinan. He has been undefeated since then and is the most popular person in our school. This time, you have given Lu Sr. an honor." Hearing what Wang Xuan said, Luo Ling was able to confirm that the other party was at least someone his father knew. Few people know that Luo Hongji lost to Ying Nongtian back then. Wang Xuans is also emotional. The son of Senior who was chasing before, who can defeat the winner in the freshman competition, can be regarded as helping Senior complete the regrets of the year. Soon, the two came to the school treasure house. This place is usually heavily guarded, and few people have the opportunity to come in. The entire treasury is built underground in the library. There are 6 floors in total, all kinds of treasures are stored around it, and in the middle is a circular staircase that spirals downwards. You can choose treasures on the first 2 floors of Solacean, but you can only take one away. You can't enter the next 4 floors. Quote. Wang Shuans asked Luo Ling to choose by himself. But Luo Ling had already thought about what he wanted on the way here. So he asked, Teacher, where is Salamance's Mega Evolution Stone? I want that. Wang Shuans pondered for a moment, then responded, 2nd floor, east side, on shelf D05. After Luo Ling expressed his thanks, he went directly to the 2nd floor. Wang Shuan stood on the spot and nodded silently. It seems that Luo Ling should want to get his strange Salamence Mega Evolution. After all, his Salamence felt stronger than normal Salamence. And as Luo Ling's strongest combat power, it is natural to get the Mega Evolution Stone. Soon, Luo Ling found Salamence's Mega Evolution Stone according to Wang Shuan's tip. But this stone is not for the Roaring Moon, but for the Bagon that will evolve into Salamence in the future. Rumbling Moon, as a paradoxical Pokémon, does not have the ability of Mega Evolution. Not really Salamence after all. In the evening, Luo Ling and Ling Shuiyi had a meal together and returned to the dormitory. He immediately dialed the video call of his parents. Son, is the freshman competition over today? What's the result? As soon as it went online, Luo Hongji couldn't wait to ask. Counting the time of enrollment, the blindness of freshmen is almost over. I just wanted to tell you that I met Ying Nongtian's daughter in the freshman competition. Her name is Ying Kaier. We met in the finals. She is really strong, the strongest rival I have ever met. However, in the end I won. As soon as these words came out, Luo Hongji on the other end of the phone was instantly overjoyed. In order to confirm the authenticity of the matter, I asked again. Seeing Luo Ling's affirmative answer, he smiled happily. Great, my son is indeed stronger than I was back then. Let that guy Ying Yangtian take a good look this time, my son is better than his daughter. Luo Hongji carried himself away happily. It seems that it was not Luo Ling who won the freshman championship, but him. After cheering for a while, Luo Hongji looked at Luo Ling who performed outstandingly. It seems that Yolanda is really going to shoot me to death on the beach. While you go, you only care about the freshman competition, and you don't care about your son's situation. At this time, Shu Yan grabbed the camera and asked in a gentle tone. Son, are you used to living over there at school, Mom? After all, it is a plateau region, and the climate is different from that at home. If there is something you are not used or not restrained, you must tell us in time. Shu Yan doesn't care how strong her son is, or how many Ronglian he has won. What she hopes is that Luo Ling can be happy and healthy. After exchanging pleasantries with his parents, it's time for Luo Ling to get down to business. Do you know Sanlongwei? This question caused Shu Yan and Luo Hongji to glance at each other and nod silently. It seems that they have heard about this matter. So, Luo Ling told his parents about Ying Kaier's invitation to him. If I'm going to participate in Sanlongwei, it's to represent the winners. Then our Luo family. Before Luo Ling could finish speaking, Luo Hongji interrupted him. It doesn't matter who you represent, what matters is that this is a very important opportunity for you. As long as you're good, it doesn't matter at all to represent the winner. Hearing what Luo Hongji said, all of a sudden, the worries in Luo Ling's heart were instantly wiped out. Yes, in this matter, God is the most important thing. As long as Luo Ling can get the Dragon God's approval, which company he represents, isn't it his own decision? The point is to have the opportunity to meet the Dragon God. If you can't even meet, it's meaningless. Luo Hongji's words instantly untied Luo Ling's knot. Being able to get the support of his parents, Luo Ling is also confident. Don't worry, tomorrow I will let Dragonite come to protect you, and go to the Sanlongwei with you. Take a good rest today and adjust your contest condition. Don't let other families in Sanlongwei take a good look at your demeanor. Luo Ling nodded and dropped the phone. At the same time, he also told Ling Shuiyi that he was going to participate in the Sanlongwei, so that she could rest assured. Good night rest. The next day, after Luo Ling got up, he found that Dragonite had been waiting here for a long time in the yard, and brought back its Pokeball. After putting away the Dragonite, Luo Ling found the winner. I've made up my mind, I'll go with you to the Sanlongwei. Okay. Ying Kaier's mouth turned up. I will also enter the secret Holy Land with you at that time, in order to get the approval of the Dragon God. Let's work hard together. The two looked at each other and smiled, temporarily letting go of rival's business. Winning the lottery asked Luo Ling to prepare first, and then set off. After the Kunlun University freshman competition, because the newly admitted students have experienced so many exciting moments before, they will have a period of rest to adjust their mentality as students. It is also to allow students more time to familiarize themselves with the campus. After all, Kunlun University occupies a large ground area, and some students may not have gone through the whole school once they graduate. And what happened at Sanlongwei happened to coincide. After getting ready, Luo Ling went to Long Island with Ying Kaier. It was a secret land of Long Island drifting somewhere in the East China Sea. The whereabouts of this island were uncertain. Only the members of the Long family, Baki family, and Su Dalin family knew how to enter this area in 4.6. Luo Ling sat on the back of the Roaring Moon, and the winner was naturally Salamence. It is a long journey from the East China Sea in front of Kunlun University. In order not to make this journey a bit boring, Ying Kaier chatted with Luo Ling a lot, and became more familiar with each other. Luo Ling found that, also being the back of a hermit family, Ying Keir was not as controversial as Li Chengkun and Xiao Yan before. Through Ying Keir, I learned that Li Sung-kun and Li Liqi are from the rock and ground Li family. Xiao Yan. All Luo Ling's conjectures are correct. After a day or two of flying, the two finally came to Donghai. Not far away, an island can finally be seen standing on top of the East China Sea. Surrounded by clouds and mist, it gives people a very mysterious feeling. When the two arrived on the island, a man who was in charge of reception at the edge of the island appeared in front of them. He is Luo Ling, and he will represent our winners in the Sanlongwei. After Ying Keir's brief introduction, the man's attitude towards Luo Ling changed and he nodded silently. Afterwards, Ying Keir continued to lead the way and went deep into the interior of the island. And also introduced the basic situation of the island to Luo Ling. In fact, this place is not our winner's territory, it belongs to the Long family, and it is also the ancestral land of the Long family. There are many rare dragon Pokémon on the island, and a very primal ecology is preserved. So don't run around alone, you may get lost. Tell me where you want to go, and I'll take you there. But with your strength, you shouldn't encounter any danger. Having said that, Ying Keir smiled wryly. Her own strength is not afraid of the wild Pokémon on the island. Luo Ling is stronger than her, so naturally he is not afraid. Chapter 93 The Three Great Families Arrive. Sanlongwei starts. Let's go to Long Island's villa first, my father is waiting for us there. Suddenly, hearing what Ying Keir said, Luo Ling was stunned. Her father. Win the day. I just defeated Ying Keir yesterday, and I will see her father today. Would this be bad? Ying Keir never said before that to attend Sanlongwei, she had to meet her father first. For a while, Luo Ling felt quite embarrassed. Don't worry, my father won't eat yours. He agreed with you to come to Sanlongwei. Perhaps seeing Luo Ling's embarrassment, Ying Keir said hastily. But even so, Luo Ling was still a little ashamed. When I came to the villas on Long Island, the number of people here increased exponentially. It's just that when everyone noticed Luo Ling, they all cast sharp glances. These should all be winners. Luo Ling defeated Ying Keir in the freshman competition of Kunlun University, and this matter is known to the winners. So, this Luo Ling thing has entered a den of thieves. In the lobby on the first floor of the villa, Luo Ling finally met Ying Nongtian. About the same age as his father, he is the patriarch of a family after all, with the same momentum and a strong sense of oppression. Father, I brought Luo Ling. Ying Keir went to Ying Nongtian's side, and suddenly became like a little princess. This kind of transformation is completely different from when she was in school. Such a large sense of contrast is indeed somewhat surprising. Ying Nongtian didn't speak, stood up silently from his seat, looked at Luo Ling from front to back, left, right, up and down, with a serious expression. If it were someone else, I'm afraid he would have wanted to run away. However, Luo Ling can still stand in front of Ying Nongtian as before, and he can be regarded as a person who has seen the world. That's right, as expected of Luo Hongji's son. No wonder you can beat my daughter. It's really suitable to participate in Sanlongwei. Suddenly, Ying Nongtian's serious face suddenly became a lot gentler. He looked at Luo Ling very satisfied, and he did not hesitate to praise him. This made Luo Ling very curious. Uncle, may I ask O3, after you participated in the freshman competition, you left the school to participate in Sanlongwei. It doesn't count, it doesn't count. Thinking of this matter, Ying Nongtian was very emotional. Back then, after participating in the freshman competition, he really wanted to return to his family to participate in the Sanlongwei. But other than that, because of the grievances of his previous generation, he needs to assume the responsibility of the patriarch of the family. So after attending Sanlongwei, I never returned to Kunlun University. For Ying Niangtian, this is indeed a very regrettable thing. There is no need to talk about the past, since you have decided to represent the winner to participate in the Three Dragons Gathering, let Keir take you for a stroll around Dragon Island in these 2 days. When the time is up, I hope you can perform well in Sanlongwei. After finishing speaking, Ying Niangtian asked Ying Keir to take Luo Ling back to the room to rest, while he left the hall. There are still a few days before Sanlongwei. But now, Luo Ling is more and more interested in it. According to the information disclosed by Ying Keir before, he seems to have a rough imagination of the image of the dragon god. However, whether it is really what you think, you need to wait for personal participation before you can be sure. As Ying Keir said, no matter what the dragon god looks like, he definitely does not want the two families of the Neon Kingdom and Western Europe to be recognized by the dragon god. After a long journey, it is indeed a little tired. Luo Ling went back to his room to rest. The winner brought some food and water. After Luo Ling finished eating, Ying Keir offered to take Luo Ling to visit Long Island. I just looked at it before. It was not until he visited carefully that Luo Ling discovered that the climate on the island is very unique. An island actually has a variety of different climate environments, and it is also very clearly divided according to the region. So that it can match the living habits of different dragon Pokémon. Hot, cold, and humid are all available. And the island is also covered with a lot of fruits that dragon Pokémon like to eat. There are many kinds of fruits, from common to rare, all over the island. Without any exaggeration, this dragon island is completely a paradise for dragon Pokémon. It's just that the winner doesn't usually live here. It was only because the Sanlongwei was about to be held that many winners came. I briefly introduced the situation of Long Island, and took Luo Ling for a brief tour around Long Island. At this time, the sky was getting dark, and Ying Keir took Luo Ling back to their respective rooms. I have to say that this dragon island is indeed very attractive. The rare dragon-type Pokémon, which are usually difficult to see in the wild, are also in considerable numbers here. If this island is made public, I am afraid it will be favored by many people. It is not impossible for some families to fight the Long family in order to fight for this island. However, with the means of the Hermit family, it is not difficult to hide here. The next day, early morning, Luo Ling led Bagon to start training in the yard. Accompanied by 3 little ones. Luo Ling didn't release Dragonite, mainly because he didn't want people to know that he had a whole card like Dragonite. Even if the winners are represented, it is not necessary for them to know everything. But Bagon does need serious training. After all, it has just been conquered not long ago, and the level is indeed a bit low when the aptitude is good. If it can be breeded as soon as possible, and evolved into the final form of Salamence. Luo Ling also got the evolution stone in his hand. Then he can be regarded as the person who owns the Mega Evolution Pokémon. When participating in the freshman competition before, several members of the Hermit family basically possessed the ability of Mega Evolution, which really made Luo Ling a little envious. So before entering the Academy Treasure House, Luo Ling had already considered clearly what he wanted. Bagon, dodge from the left and grab the little dragon by the tail. Babe. Seeing Doran Messia rushing towards him, Bagon's concentrated appearance made people feel cute after seeing it. It dodged Doran Messia's attack, and quickly grabbed the opponent's tail with that short hand. But Duolong Mahia's speed is much faster. As soon as Bagon's hand touched its tail, it immediately slid away. This made Bagon angry and resentful, pouting and showing rage's expression. Seeing Bagon's cute appearance, Doran Messia could only put his tail in front of Bagon again in order to appease him, let it grab and then break free. In this way, Bagon's reaction and precision are continuously trained. And Haxorus and Dragonair are also constantly encouraging Bagon, making it more confident. Seeing that the 3 little ones are so gentle with Bagon, and they get along so well. As a trainer, Luo Ling also showed a gratified smile. And not far away, not long after waking up, Ying Nongtian heard shouts coming from the yard. Although intermittent, but still come to check the situation. When he saw that Luo Ling was training Pokémon, he nodded in relief. Talented and self-disciplined, he looks good too, even better than Luo Hongji back then. Very good, and Kair is quite a good match. After saying a few words to himself, Ying Nongtian came to the yard. This Bagon looks very young, it must have been tamed not long ago. Ying Nongtian's voice came from behind. Luo Ling nodded. I found out suddenly in the Kunlun secret realm, and I felt that this little guy was very compatible with me, so I stayed. Ying Niangtian noticed that Luo Ling's Bagon was of a different color flash. I heard you already have a rather peculiar Salamence. Why do you still want to use the same Pokémon? After all, the paradoxical Pokémon is a brand new discovery, and even Ying Yongtian knows very little about it. So it is understandable to say such a thing. Luo Ling found a reason at random. Simply put, the rumbling moon in his hand is different from the normal Salamence, and the breeder's direction is naturally different. When fighting in the future, different tactics will be adopted. Rumbling Moon's tactics are different from those of Salamence, so I want to cultivate a new team of Salamence for emergencies. After hearing this, Ying Nongtian immediately gave his opinion on Salamence's breeder. Moreover, the Salamence that won the lottery was a breeder under the coaching of his father, so it is so strong. After learning this, Luo Ling was a little surprised. Listening to Ying Yongtian's breeder's opinion, I humbly accept it. Ying Kair's lack of strength must have been influenced by her father. Although the relationship between Luo Ling and the winner is not very good, it is not impossible to learn from a teacher in an open and honest manner. As a dragon family, the winners have been able to develop for so many years and stand still, so their breeder method has its merits. After telling his opinion, Ying Nongtian left. For the rest of the time, Luo Ling continued to train Bagon. 2 days later, Luo Ling had lunch with Ying Keir and her father, and then went to the square together. Today, Sanlongwei is about to start. People from other aristocratic families also came to Longdao one after another. When Luo Ling and others arrived at the square, it was already overcrowded. People from the Dragon family of Neon Kingdom and Western Europe Kingdom have all come here. Did you see that person at your 10 o'clock direction? Bakishuan, the young patriarch of the Baki family, is the most powerful young genius of his generation. There is also Clarence Ellie not far from the next door, who has been a genius girl since she was a child, and is said to have the ability to resonate with dragon Pokémon. The 2 of them are the most hopeful people from the other 2 aristocratic families to be recognized by the dragon god this year. When entering the square, Ying Keir hurriedly introduced the situation to Luo Ling. Since it is to represent the winner to participate in this year's Sanlongwei, it must at least clarify the most powerful rival situation. As for the Long family, the patriarch of the family, Long Aocean, is right in front. The most hopeful person in the Long family to be recognized by the dragon god this year is to win the lottery. However, that was before Luo Ling came. Long Aocean and Ying Niangtian glanced at each other, and Long Aocean glanced at Luo Ling behind him, and led him to the Long family. Since everyone is here, our Sanlongwei today will start immediately. Seeing that all the family members have arrived, Long Aocean appeared in front of everyone as this year's organizer. The Three Dragons Festival is held in turn by 3 dragon family families. This is also for fairness. Just this year, it's the Long family's turn to hold it. There are a lot of new faces this year, and everyone may not be clear about the rules of Sanlongwei. Next, I will tell you about the rules of Sanlongwei. This year, the younger generation sent by the three major families will enter the wild area of the secret land of Dragon Island. This area is extremely dangerous. The dragon Pokémon that exist inside have not reached a contract with our dragon family, so they will actively attack those who enter. We will send people to give corresponding points according to the strength of the wild Pokémon defeated by everyone. After one day, all those with less than 1,000 points will be eliminated. When Luo Ling heard it, he immediately felt that this rule seemed so familiar. Isn't this the third round of Kunlun University's freshman test? Is copying other people's rules like this really considered plagiarism? However, Winning Kair on the side explained in a low voice in Luo Ling's ear. The previous Sanlongwei did not actually have this link. It is precisely because of this that cats and dogs can participate. So this link is also to raise the threshold, so that the subsequent links will not waste too much time. 870. According to Winner's instructions, in the past, the three major families wanted to allow their descendants to be recognized by the dragon god as much as possible. Therefore, anyone who meets the age will be allowed to participate in the Sanlongwei. After all, for an event of this probability, the more people involved, the easier it is to win the bid. It also caused a lot of people with different levels to appear in the competition, which made the subsequent Duford competition schedule very long, and it might last for several days in severe cases. But such a situation does not make any sense, but it will waste everyone's time. Therefore, this new link launched this year is to raise the threshold of the following Duford competition. Let those who are not strong enough to leave as soon as possible, and avoid wasting everyone's time. However, winning the lottery also made Luo Ling not to look at this points match as simple. It's the same whole day, and I also want to get 1,000 points. The barbaric area in the secret realm of Long Island is no less difficult than the survival test for freshmen at Kunlun University. Mainly because of the low scores given. If it was a Pokémon of the same strength, they might get 500 points after defeating them in the freshman survival test at Kunlun University. But if it's the points competition here, they might only get 200 points, or even lower. In this way, Luo Ling can be regarded as roughly understanding the process of this year's Sanlongwei. After Long Aocean explained the rules of the points competition. Continue to say to everyone, if someone has reached 1,000 points, but decides to leave before 24 hours, all points will be voided. Only when the time and points reach the standard at the same time can we proceed to the next round. This point is suitable for the freshman survival test of Kunlun University, which is different from Mikey. In terms of overall difficulty, it is indeed more difficult to score points. However, it was only 24 hours, Luo Ling was not worried at all. That's probably the case. If no one has any objections, the points division will start in half an hour. Half an hour later, it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Doing so should be a time card, which is convenient for later calculation. After entering the wild area later, the two of us will split up. After all, if it's the two of us who defeat a Pokémon together, the points will only go to the person who was defeated last. So it's not cost effective to form a team. Win Kair said to Luo while preparing her luggage. The latter nodded, and the details of the rules in this regard are also different from the wild test for freshmen. The purpose of this arrangement is not only to increase the difficulty of the points competition, but also to avoid letting people form teams as much as possible, hoping to let each player fight alone. Only in this way can we show everyone's strength as much as possible. So that in the subsequent Duford competition, there will be no strokes. You are Luo Ling, Luo Hongji's son. Before the game started, Long Aocean suddenly came to Luo Ling. Chapter 94 Survival Trial. Wilderness. Long Aocean. This name had to make Luo Ling feel speechless. I didn't expect someone to call that name. When Lu Ling first found out about the Long family, Lu Ling thought about the family situation. It's just that he can't think of it, the name alone makes people unable to complain. Behave well and don't make me regret agreeing to you. Long Aocean looked Luo Ling up and down, and said something lightly. It was obvious that there was something Luo Ling didn't know about the other party's words. But Luo Ling didn't care what happened in the middle. He came here this time, not for anyone, but for himself. If you don't let me come, you will regret it. Luo Ling snorted coldly, so what if he is the patriarch of the Long family? Our Luo family is not bad either. If there are powerful people among the younger generation of the Long family, do they still need to unite with the winners and find Luo Ling to represent the winners? Thinking of this, I suddenly felt that the Long family was not as good at cultivating the back as imagined. Of course, this is just a joke. After all, everyone's talent and aptitude are mostly formed innately. If they can really surpass the acquired, there will be no genius at all. Long Aocean didn't seem to want Luo Ling to be so arrogant, his brows were slightly frowned, and when he was about to show off Luo Ling, he found that the other party had already entered the barren area. It's just a child, why bother? If he can really do what he says, it will be a good thing for us. Winning Day smiled. Long Aocean thought he was right. If Luo Ling really had that strength, what would happen if he was arrogant for a day? This year's Sanlongwei, the Baki family and the Clarence family all have strong young generations. However, the Long family and the winner can still see it as just one winning lottery. Now that there is a stronger Luo Ling, let's wait for him to finish the Three Dragons meeting and see the results. About the same time, people from various families entered the wild area of Dragon Island one after another. Winning Kair went in a little later, just to divert time with Luo Ling and avoid bumping into each other. According to this year's new rules, if people from the same aristocratic family meet together, they will not have an advantage in obtaining points, but will only have a collision of interests. After Luo Ling entered the wild area, he began to explore on his own. His purpose is not simply for points. Since it is a wild area, it must be a place that has not been explored by humans. There are naturally many secret treasures in it. The secret treasure produced by Dragon Island is naturally the best material for breeder dragon Pokémon, so you can't just miss it. What surprised Luo Ling was that at first glance, all Pokémon related to dragons. And the quasi-god is a contest condition that can be seen almost everywhere. There are more than those in Kunlun's secret realm. It really is a paradise for dragon Pokémon. There are so many dragon Pokémon, and they have been breeding here for thousands of years. It seems reasonable to have such a scale. Come to the right place. Everyone, come out and have a look. While speaking, Luo Ling had already released the Pokémon Haxorus, Dragonair, Dronmesia, Bagon, and Rumbling Moon. As for Dragonite, forget it. It was sent by Luo Hongji to protect Luo Ling. Except for the father and son, no one knew that Luo Ling had a Dragonite of the Dragon Elite breeder beside him. Until the critical moment, it is better for Dragonite not to be known. Protect your whole cards, and always be full of confidence in the next action. After all the partners came out, they looked at the Dragon-type Pokémon all around them, and took a deep breath. They seemed to be able to feel that this area is full of Dragon Pokémon's power, just like Luo Ling's Dragon power feels more aggressive on this island. We have a whole day to train well in this wild area. Everyone, don't waste this rare opportunity. Bagon, the level gap between you and your friends is too big, so you have to strengthen your training and try to catch up with your sisters. Babe. Bagon understood Luo Ling's words, and kept shaking his body, instantly full of fighting will. Although it is a wild area, there are both high and low level Pokémon. So there is still a relatively safe place. Luo Ling found a clearing that was perfect for camping, with rock walls on the side and a stream in front. So, he used this as his temporary camp. Just as the camp was set up, there was a faint sound not far from the stream. I went up to check carefully and found that it was a Gumi drinking water by the stream. Still a quasi-god, Luo Ling uses the data eye to check the situation of this Pokémon. Open black lens bracket Gumi. Dragon close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket level. 18 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket character. Naive close black lens bracket. Ability. Grass eating not affected by grass type moves. When hit by grass type moves, the attack ability will increase. Close black lens bracket. Individual values. HP 30, physical attack 29, special attack 31, physical defense 31, special defense 29, speed 29. Open black lens bracket skills. Dragon breath, water gun, absorb, tackle, protect, charm, mud shot, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket qualification. Quasi championship close black lens bracket. It's rare to meet someone with a low level in the secret realm, so it's natural to let Bagon practice it. Bagon, use headbutt on licking Pokémon. Babe. It seemed that there was work to be done, and Bagon became excited, concentrated his strength on his head, and rushed over directly with his head buried. Gumi was just drinking water and never thought of being in danger. The moment he touched the water, before he could drink it, he was directly hit by the Bagon. That kind of grievance immediately made Gumi rage. In the next second, he struck Bagon fiercely like a muscle maniac. Bagon, step back quickly. After pulling away, use dragon breath. Babe. After jumping back several times, Bagon took advantage of Gumi's inability to touch him, took a breath, and blew towards Gumi. A breath of breath rushed in front of the dragon Gumi, and suddenly Normal seemed to be hit by something all over his body, and fell to the ground inadvertently. It was dragon breath that paralyzed Gumi into the contest condition, but it didn't last long. Great chance to get to know each other again using headbutt. Bagon held back a lot of energy, and at this moment he finally burst out. The power gathered in his head made it emit a white light when he used the headbutt, and with a scream, he directly defeated the paralyzed Gumi. Open black lens bracket Bagon defeated Gumi alone, LV12 plus LV13 close black lens bracket. Good job, it seems that the previous special training effect is very good. Luo Ling stroked Bagon's smooth head again, and returned to the camp. It seems that there are more Pokémon in Dragon Island than I saw before, and the dragon Pokémon can be seen almost everywhere. If you want to camp and rest, you need to be more careful. So, Luo Ling gave orders to Haxorus and Rumbling Moon. The two of you are responsible for patrolling the surrounding area. If there is any danger, please notify us as soon as possible. The two Pokémon nodded, went to a slightly further place to guard, and looked around, but they could still be seen by Rong Ling. As for Bagon, Dragonair and Doran Messiah, these three Pokémon have not yet evolved to their final form. Luo Ling decided to take advantage of this opportunity to come to the Dragon Island secret realm to upgrade them as much as possible. But the point is still the Bagon. After Haxorus and Rumbling Moon explored, other wild Pokémon were soon found around. It turned out to be a level 20 Tyrant. Right now, this Tyrant looks cute and fierce, and its level is not high. Let the Bagon continue. First hit headbutt, but was dodged by Tyrant. However, the distance between the two Pokémon was also successfully shortened, and Luo Ling made Bagon hold the arm of the bite enemy tightly, causing Tyrant Roar to continue. After successfully consuming rival, finally still take a headbutt, which Bagon is good at, to know the enemy. Open black lens bracket Bagon defeated Tyrant alone, LV13 right pointing arrow LV14, close black lens bracket. After defeating 2 wild Pokémon in a row, Bagon also became more confident. When he was smiling, he didn't notice a Tyrantrum popping out from behind him. Bagon, come back, babe. Bagon didn't know why Luo Ling suddenly called it back, but when he found Tyrantrum behind him, he was taken aback. Open black lens bracket Tyrantrum. Dragon close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket level 40 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket character. Impatient close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket ability. Strong jaws use the power of biting moves to increase close black lens bracket. Individual values. HP 28, physical attack 28, special attack 26, physical defense 30, special defense 29, speed 27. Open black lens bracket skills. Tackle, roar, ancient power, bite, crunch, dragon tail, fire fang, iron head, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket qualification. Elite close black lens bracket. Obviously, Bagon cannot fight this Tyrantrum alone. That being the case, Luo Ling hurriedly let Dragonair and Duolong Messiah rush over to protect Crunch, which was due to Bagon. Otherwise, under the blessing of ability, this level 40 Tyrantrum will increase the power of Crunch, and if the Bagon is hit by Crunch, it may be gone immediately. Bagon, go back first. Dragonair and Xiaoduolong, you lead the charge and consume Tyrantrum. Use Thunder Wave and Dragon Tail. In the next second, Doran Messia first used Dragon Tail and knocked Tyrantrum to the ground. Immediately afterwards, the Thunder Wave was released from Dragonair's mouth, successfully paralyzing Tyrantrum and making him unable to move. Bagon, go all out, tackle Tyrantrum with headbutt. Babe, under the protection of his predecessors, Bagon bravely rushed to Tyrantrum, which was much higher than his level. The belief in defeating rival became stronger, which also allowed Bagon's ability to be brought into play, successfully activating the second ability forcibly. Headbutt's move, when used, will make rival feel a certain degree of fear, so that he shrinks back and dare not fight. However, under the effect of force, rival no longer shrinks, but the power of the moves can be enhanced. It can be said to be a necessary ability under a strong attack. Abandoning more has additional effects, just to pursue the greatest damage. Bump. Bagon managed to hit Tyrantrum in the stomach. At this moment, Tyrantrum was consumed by a wave. Although Bagon's level was a bit low, under the effect of force, he still dealt not weak damage. Tyrantrum was also successfully defeated. Open black lens bracket Bagon defeats the enemy with the cooperation of his companions, LV14 right pointing arrow LV16, close black lens bracket. Although this Tyrantrum didn't raise the levels of Dragonair and Doran Messiah, Luo Ling was satisfied with Bagon's direct upgrade to 2 levels. After all, both Dragonair and Doran Messiah are higher ranks than Tyrantrum. What they need is a more powerful enemy. Now it is mainly help Bagon training. When there is an enemy that Bagon can't defeat, it's not too late to let Dragonair and Doran Messiah take action. In this way, Haxorus and Roaring Moon are responsible for patrolling the surrounding environment, and when they find wild Pokémon, they will notify Luo Ling. In this way, wiped out all the wild Pokémon near the camp. Most Pokémon around here are between level 20 and 30. Only a few reached level 40. As a result, Luo Ling once wondered whether the wild area that Long Aocean said before is dangerous, is it true, or is it just scaring people? After this wave of battles, Bagon also successfully upgraded from level 16 to level 19. But the levels of Dragonair and Doran Messiah have never changed. Seeing that the wild Pokémon around are gone, the 3 Pokémon involved in the battle are also tired. Luo Ling asked everyone to return to the temporary camp and have a good rest for a while. After distributing the energy cubes and some snacks to all the partners, Luo Ling is also planning to find the secret treasure. Since I have the opportunity to come here, even if I can't find the secret treasure, it's better to catch 1 or 2 Pokémon with good qualifications and go back than nothing. The island is full of dragon Pokémon, and God is often seen. Gumi just now is not an example. And wild Pokémon have played so many, compared to the points should be similar. When you are looking for secret treasures, you might meet a few powerful Pokémon. After defeating them, you can replenish your points and you should be able to complete this round of testing. Thinking of this, Luo Ling became more relaxed. It's just that he didn't know that Ying Kaier, who set off later, entered the wild area and started an endless battle. In order to improve the cost-effectiveness of each battle, of Li Jiao as much as possible, I just ignore weak Pokémon when I encounter them, and only fight strong Pokémon if I want to fight. Only in this way can it be guaranteed to pass the points race. The contest conditions of these 2 people formed a strong contrast, it was like a heaven and an earth. Long Island Plaza. After the descendants of various families entered the wild area. The satellite monitoring arranged in advance by the Long family was activated, and the picture of the wild area immediately appeared on the big screen that was prepared in the center of the square. Every family will naturally pay more attention to the situation of their own family members. Therefore, the Long family also carefully prepared several monitoring screens. Classified by the 3 major families, each family has 9 surveillance screens to ensure that more juniors can be observed. What Long Aocean and Ying Yongtian watched the most was the pictures of Ying Kaier and Luo Ling. It's just that it's okay if you don't watch it, but you will feel more angry after watching it. Luo Ling, did you use the secret realm as a place for him to train Pokémon? It's still playing in the secret realm. Are you sure that such a junior can take on the responsibility of being recognized by the dragon god? Long Aotian glanced at Ying Nongtian from the corner of his eye. At the beginning, Luo Ling was recommended to Long Aotian by him. Long Aotian also agreed to let Luo Ling participate in Sanlong Weiyi for the sake of Ying Niangtian's face and Luo Hongji's son. But looking at the current situation, I always feel that this decision will be too careless. It seems that we can only put our hope on Wen Keir. Ying Niangtian was also embarrassed. He didn't expect that Luo Ling, who entered in the first wave, was naturally in no hurry. Could it be that Wen Keir didn't remind him before? No, my own daughter won't make it clear. Wen Keir will definitely not be so unreliable in doing things. Now I hope that Luo Ling can react as soon as possible and quickly raise the score to the district. The previous hundreds of Pokémon were all weak Pokémon, and they didn't get any points at all. Chapter 95. Longtan. Swarm of Gyarados. The surrounding wild Pokémon have almost been wiped out, in order to be able to meet more powerful Pokémon. Luo Ling decided to let Haxorus and Rumbling Moon stay at the camp. I took the other Pokémon to explore a little outside. In order not to lose his way, Luo Ling walked down the river. Open black lens bracket hint. An exclusive Garchomp Mega Evolution Stone was found in the pool ahead, close black lens bracket. The prompt that popped up suddenly made Luo Ling burst into ecstasy. I didn't expect to be able to find a Mega Evolution Stone in the secret realm. This kind of thing can be said to be extremely rare. Although Luo Ling does not have Garchomp now, it is still a dragon Pokémon. If you meet a suitable one in the future, you can try to regain it. As one of the quasi-gods, Garchomp can also become a fighting force in the team in the future. However, the conditions for Mega Evolution, in addition to Evolution Stones, also require the tacit understanding between Pokémon and trainer to reach a very high degree, so it needs constant running in. Just like I got the Mega Evolution Stone of Salamence from Curry of Kunlun University before, after Bagon evolves into Salamence, I can't Mega Evolution in the first place. The corner of Luo Ling's mouth couldn't help but rise at the thought of getting the second Mega Evolution Stone. According to the prompt of the system, Luo Ling continued to walk downstream along the stream. Not long after, about 1 kilometer away from the temporary camp, a pool of water was found in front of it. It's not normal water though. It is not an exaggeration to call it Longtan. Luo Ling discovered that there was actually a group of Gyarados in the pool. And a dash of Magikarp. Hiding in the dark, carefully use the data eye to check. Open black lens bracket Gyarados. Water flying, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket level, 45 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket character. Naive close black lens bracket. Ability. Intimidation. When entering the field or obtaining this ability, the attacks of all enemies will drop. Individual value. HP 25, physical attack 24, special attack 26, physical defense 25, special defense 28, speed 24. Open black lens bracket Gyarados. Water flying, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket level, 44 close black lens bracket. Character. Timid. Open black lens bracket ability. Overconfident. After defeating the enemy, the power of your own attack will increase, close black lens bracket. Individual values. HP 24, physical attack 25, special attack 28, physical defense 24, special defense 26, speed 23. Open black lens bracket Magikarp 2, water, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket level, 18 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket character, sloppy close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket ability, travel freely. When it rains or heavy rain, the speed ability is greatly improved, close black lens bracket. Individual values. HP 21, physical attack 26, special attack 23063, physical defense 24, special defense 21, speed 22. After checking, I found that the Gyarados levels here are generally 40 to 50, but there is a 52 level male. As for Magikarp, they are all about to reach level 20, which is when they are about to evolve into Gyarados. It seems likely that this group of Gyarados is protecting Magikarp, helping them evolve as quickly as possible. Pokémon like Magikarp really needs protection before evolution, otherwise it is easy to be killed by other Pokémon, which is too weak. However, the speed of Magikarp's evolution is indeed slow. It is impossible for Luo Ling to wait until these Magikarps have all evolved and the Gyarados group leaves to obtain Garchomp's Mega Evolution Stone. Besides, it's not sure if these Gyarados will actually leave. It seems that this battle is inevitable in order to get Garchomp's Mega Evolution Stone. There are so many Gyarados groups, it is almost impossible to defeat them with just 3 Pokémon, Bagon, Dragonair, and Doran Messia. Fortunately, here is not far from the temporary camp. Luo Ling dared to go back quickly and called Rumbling Moon and Haxorus over to prepare for a big battle. When he reappeared by the Longtan, Luo Ling gradually approached. Although there is always one stop, if 1 or 2 can be dealt with through a sneak attack first, it will be easier in the subsequent battles. Crack. Suddenly, there was the sound of a tree branch being trampled and split. It was Haxorus who accidentally stepped on a branch in ground. Gab. Haxorus suddenly felt as if he had made a mistake and became very nervous. Luo Ling and other Pokémon followed suit. Looking at the group of Gyarados in Longtan, they were discovered. Roar, roar, roar. A group of Gyarados over 40 levels were all furious. Outsiders invaded their territory, and might even threaten Magikarp's life, which they could not tolerate. There are at least a dozen of these Gyarados groups. I can't hide anymore, let's all fight. Stand in a fan-shaped row first to prevent being caught by the enemy. Several Pokémon are headed by the highest level Rumble Moon, with Haxorus and Dragonair standing on the left and right sides, and Bagon and Doran Messiah in the middle. Use this formation to face a dozen or so Gyarados. At this moment, Turling suddenly felt the Pokeball containing the Dragonite vibrate. It was Dragonite who sensed danger and wanted to come out to protect Luo Ling. However, he was held down by Luo Ling. Don't worry, it's not the time for you to come out yet, I can still respond. While speaking, Luo Ling released the power of Dragon Control, endowing all the released Pokémon. This is the first time Luo Ling has used the power of the dragon on so many Pokémon. I thought it would be more difficult, but it was easier than imagined. It should be because of the previous breakthrough in the power of Yulong. The reason why Dragonite is not released is entirely because once it is shot, the points race will probably end directly. Moreover, people from the three major families are still watching, so it's best to keep a low profile first. Several low-level Gyarados rushed over directly. Roaring Moon, use Scale Shot. Boom. Rumbling Moon also let out a roar, fluttered its wings high into the sky, and fired a large number of feathers at a large area of enemies. These feathers are incredibly tough, and when smack down is on the ground, it does massive damage. And it also set off a cloud of smoke on the ground, successfully blocking the Gyarados' sight. It's now. Everyone use Dragon Tail. With one order, all Pokémon are in charge of one Gyarados each, concentrating their power on the tail, and strike hard, bringing a heavy blow to the Gyarados who don't know rivals' movements. Except for Bagon, though. It watched the movements of its predecessors, and tried to follow suit with its tail. However, because he is still too weak, Bagon has not been able to learn the move of Dragon Tail. Besides, even if you learn it, its small tail can't do much damage. Babe. For a moment, Bagon cast an aggrieved look at Luo Ling. The moves that other sisters know, why can't we? Don't be sad, it's not your turn to make a move yet. You first observe the battlefield at any time and pay attention to the instructions. I still need you to shine later. Luo Ling quickly comforted Bagon, and then looked at the battlefield again. After the scale shot just now, many Gyarados have already been hurt. Although the damage is not high, many partners have been hit, and the Gyarados let out a deep roar growl. Gyarados are irritable Pokémon themselves. Now that someone broke into their own territory and launched an attack on themselves at the same time, they would not just let it go. Several Gyarados rushed over from the left and right sides. They could clearly feel that the roaring moon in the middle seemed to be stronger, so they decided to deal with the weak rival first. The Gyarados on the left uses a Dragon Pulse and the one on the right uses a Water Pulse. Two different wave powers were sent out at the same time. Luo Ling quickly asked Haxorus and Dragonair to use Protect and Twister to fight back. Under the effect of Protect, the double axe lineup directly withstood the attack of Dragon Pulse. On the other side, Hawkron summoned a few small Twisters, which were not very powerful, but they were enough to blow the Water Pulse away and make Gyarados' body full of water. Little Duolong, hurry up and use Thunder Wave. Do. Doran Messiah released Thunder Wave at the Violent Dragon on the right. Gyarados itself is a water-type Pokémon, and his body was wet with water, which made the effect of Thunder Wave outstanding. And hit several Gyarados at the same time. Seeing this scene, Luo Ling seems to have discovered a new way to play. Dragonair, use Rain Dance. Proposal. Harkron's whole body was radiant, and he stretched his body towards the soaring in the sky, making a singing sound, as if offering sacrifices to normal. Not long after, the soaring in the sky was suddenly covered with dark clouds ADDF, and it was quite dark. Afterwards, raindrops the size of teardrops fell in soaring in the sky, turning the entire wilderness into a rainy day. Rumbling Moon continued to use Scale Shot in the air, constantly disturbing the Gyarados of the ground. But who, besides Groudon, can't fly? Gyarados is a Pokémon of water type and flying type, so at the same time, 2 or 3 Gyarados flew to the Roaring Moon, surrounded it, and used Crunch. At the same time, in the face of attacks from different directions, Rumbling Moon can only show its strength, constantly maneuvering and soaring in the sky, dodging the attacks of Gyarados. Bagon, Haxorus, come back first. While talking, the road has passed Pokeball, and the 2 Pokémon have all been collected. At the same time, he also issued an order to Doran Messiah and Dragonair, use Thunder Wave continuously to the left and right. It's better to inoculate puddles. While saying these words, Luo Ling did not forget to take several steps back, away from Longtan. Doran Messiah and Dragonair stand side by side, one opening its mouth stockpile, the other gathering electricity on its forehead. Then, at the same time launched an attack on the enemy, releasing Thunder Wave. In the case of rainy days, the whole body of all violent dragons is infiltrated by raindrops, because water is more likely to conduct electricity, making the power of electrical skills more intense. This made 6 or 7 Gyarados successfully paralyzed with just 2 or 3 Thunder Wave shots, and they fell to the ground one after another. But even so, these violent dragons still look ferocious, staring fiercely at the enemy, which makes people feel a little lingering. But that's what Gyarados look like, no wonder they are. Lori, who was hiding behind the tree, was not affected by the Thunder Wave. When Doran Messiah and Dragonair aimed at the water pool at the same time, the moment the Thunder Wave hit, many Pokémon in the water pool were all paralyzed. Even the Magikarps who were about to reach the evolutionary conditions could not help but twitch in the water, their bodies writhing constantly. Come out, Bagon, Haxorus. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Lori threw the Pokeball out. 2-1, Bagon Axe War Dragon reappeared on the battlefield. Bagon, you go and deal with those Magikarp. Let them all be wiped out. Haxorus, look at the two hurricanes on the left. Gyuparo use close combat. Dragonair, Duolong, use Dragon Tail. I saw that all of Luo Ling's Pokémon shot at the same time, and there were pools of water on the left and right. Almost every part of the battlefield was covered. And except for Bagon, all Pokémon have exceeded level 40, and everyone has extremely rich combat experience. Against 10 or so Gyarados and 3 or 5 Magikarp, it's no problem. Just waiting for all these wild Pokémon on the ground to be wiped out, Rumbling Moon is still in the air with the 3 Gyarados. Roaring Moon, bring them down. After receiving the instruction, Roaring Moon predicted her own flying trajectory, passed between 2 big trees, and returned to Luo Ling. You did a great job. Helped us hold those Gyarados down. Luo Ling praised Rumbling Moon's efforts, but at the same time, he also found that the 3 Gyarados had followed. Seeing that all his companions were defeated, 3 Gyarados roared at Luo Ling and his Pokémon at the same time. Through the data eye, 2 of the 3 Gyarados have reached level 52 and level 54 respectively. Be careful, everyone, the 2 on the left are not easy to deal with. As soon as the words fell, the 2 sides fought again. It's just that the continuous rainy day has ended at this time, and it is not so easy to use Thunder Wave to cause a large-scale impact again. Fortunately, there are not many, only the last 3 left. Roar Moon, and Bagon against the right one only. Little Dragon, Dragonair, you 2 deal with the one on the far left. Haxorus, I'll leave the middle one to you. Gabe. Proposed. 11. Do. Babe. Boom. The 5 Pokémon are full of fighting spirit and fighting spirit. There are not as many enemies as before, so it is natural to look more relaxed than before. The former of Dragonair and Doran Messia is responsible for using agility to attract the attention of the enemy, while the latter disappears from the enemy's sight through invisibility. Then use the Phantom Force to successfully hit Gyarados, Vitals and defeat it. Haxorus quickly approached rival, using close combat to quickly end the fight with a powerful attack. Although Bagon's level is relatively low, it is weaker. But with the Rumbling Moon as cover, first use Dragon Claw and Dragon Tail to entangle the enemy tightly and deal a lot of damage. Bagon slammed into it from the side again. Although the effect was not great, it was still a sense of participation. In the roar of the Roaring Moon, this Gyarados who was close to level 5000 was bitten by sleep. Open Black Lens Bracket Doran Messia defeated the enemy with the cooperation of his companions, LV44 right pointing arrow LV45, close Black Lens Bracket. Open Black Lens Bracket Bagon defeats the enemy alone with the cooperation of his companions, LV19 right pointing arrow LV21, close Black Lens Bracket. Dragonair defeated the enemy LV45 plus LV46 alone with the cooperation of his companions. As all the Pokémon in Longtan were killed, the levels of Pokémon also increased one after another. However, what Luo Ling cares most about now is not the level issue, but the Garchomp Mega Evolution Stone in Longtan. Dragonair, go to the water and take out the Evolution Stone. #N. Dragonair jumped into the water and looked for it at the bottom of the water. After about 10 minutes, I saw a colorful stone inside its mouth, which came out of the water. It's Garchomp's Mega Evolution Stone. Luo Ling smiled happily, and the moment he took the evolutionary stone, he felt the energy coming from inside. Now, I have 2 Mega Evolution Stones. The moment Pokémon saw the Evolution Stone, they also felt the power of the dragon coming from inside. After all, it is the Mega Evolution Stone of the Dragon-type Pokémon, so it will naturally attract the attention of the same type Pokémon. But when everyone was paying attention to the Evolution Stone, Dragonair issued a doubtful growl. Proposal. Proposal. Dragonair bit the corner of Luo Ling's clothes and kept pulling it into the pool. Chapter 96. The Ultimate Secret Treasure. The Best Dragon Essence. Dragon Island, Plaza. Luo Ling faced the numerous Gyarados in Longtan alone. Such a scene has attracted the attention of many people. Especially some high-level people in the 3 clans, they are quite interested in a young junior like Luo Ling. Is this young man a descendant of the Long family? Or a descendant of the Baki family? Matt, the head of the Clarence family, had sharp eyes, and he was quite puzzled by the oriental face of Luo Ling. I don't know who is the descendant of that family, but he is able to monotonize the group of Gyarados by himself. Although the scene was a bit flustered, he was able to defeat all the enemies in the end without hurting his own Pokémon. Such strength, at this age, is very strong. Matt believes that this Luo Ling is likely to be recognized by the Dragon God. Therefore, it is necessary to know more news about Luo Ling immediately. Some people, if they can't use it for themselves, they can't stay. Matt's younger brother, who is also the leader of the Clarence family, Scott whispered beside him, it should be from the Long family. People from the Baki family seemed to be very impressed by this young man. Not far away, Baki Kazuma, the patriarch of the Baki family, could be seen frowning slightly, his eyes focused on the screen showing Luo Ling, staring at it for a long time. Only Long Aocean and Ying Nongtian showed approval at the scene. This young man who singled out the Gyarados group should be a junior of the Long family. To be able to deal with so many enemies so calmly at such a young age is a formidable young man. I don't know, what should I call this young man? Before the Cloran family could speak first, Yaki Kazuma, the patriarch of the Yaki family, couldn't help but speak. And he turned his head slightly, looking at Long Aocean. Although it is an indisputable fact that the three aristocratic families do not get along with each other, it is Sanlongwei after all, which involves the interests of the three aristocratic families. So on the surface, Yinjia will still maintain a polite and friendly attitude. This young junior is named Luo Ling. Long Aocean wanted to continue explaining Luo Ling's identity in detail, but suddenly felt that it was unnecessary. Now Luo Ling is representing the Long family and the Ying family to participate in the Sanlong Way, and everyone else only needs to know this. There is no need to say anything else. I didn't expect it to be a foreigner. It's really a pity. Otherwise, I believe the Long family must have announced it long ago. These few short words instantly silenced everyone present. Not only does it show that the younger generation of the Long family is not strong enough, but it also reflects from the side that the situation of the Long family this year is indeed not optimistic. They even asked a foreigner to represent them in the Sanlong Way. At the same time, a very important information was revealed. Luo Ling is not a direct descendant of the Long family and the winner, so whether he wants to fight him or win people's hearts, he doesn't need to think too much. After all, a powerful young junior like Luo Ling, if it was from his own family, would have already been supported. How can we wait until after the Sanlong Way starts? The group will be known by the whole family. Long Aocean frowned slightly. For what Baki Hejun said just now, he was obviously very angry, but he did refute it with good reasons. After all, Luo Ling is Luo Hongji's son, not a descendant of his Long family. However, Ying Nongtian on the side had deep eyes, quite meaningful. He couldn't help but groaned in his heart. It's a foreign race now, but it doesn't mean it will be in the future. This kid is outstanding in every aspect. If I can tie the knot with Kair, I will be very satisfied. Ying Nongtian wanted to match his daughter with Luo Ling, but he had never told anyone. But from the first moment he saw Luo Ling, he admired this young man quite a lot. No one spoke at the scene, and everyone had to continue watching the monitoring screen. At the same time, Luo Ling, who just finished fighting the Gyarados group, successfully got a piece of Garchomp's Mega Evolution Stone. This is a good thing. Even if I don't need it in the future, take it back to the family and store it first, maybe it will be useful at any time. I believe Luo Hongji will be extremely excited when he sees this evolutionary stone. However, Dragonair, who was still in Longtan and hadn't landed, seemed to have noticed something. It kept tugging at the corner of Luo Ling's clothes and swam towards the center of Longtan. Dragonair, did you find something? Proposal. Dragonair nodded and looked at the bottom of the Longtan center. Unfortunately, previously, according to the system prompt, it only showed that there was a piece of Garchomp's Mega Evolution Stone here, and it did not show that there were other things. The system should be error-free. Bagon, Haxorus, you two follow Dragonair to see what's going on. Gabe. The two little guys plunged into the water, followed Dragonair to swim to the center of Longtan, and then dived into the water again. Luo Ling and other Pokémon stood on the shore, constantly observing the situation in the center of Longtan. I saw a few pieces of sludge suddenly floating up from the bottom of Longtan, and then the whole pond was blackened. At this moment, the voice of the system suddenly sounded in my mind. Deep hidden hint. The best dragon essence is found at the bottom of Longtan Center. Close black lens bracket. As soon as this reminder came out, Luo Ling was surprised instantly. I didn't expect such a rare secret treasure to be hidden under the water here. Dragon essence, Dragon Fang or Dragon Skull is the best. It is said to be the blood essence of the very powerful dragon Pokémon in ancient times. It can also enhance the strength of dragon Pokémon. Just one drop of dragon essence can greatly increase the power of dragon Pokémon. Any trainer who raises dragon-type Pokémon hopes to get the essence of dragon. But this thing is not only something that can be encountered but not sought after, it may not even be possible to meet. The vast majority of people spend their lives in poverty, and they just read relevant records in related literature. Even if he was born in the Luo family, Luo Ling has only heard about it, and he has never seen it grow up so big. With the efforts of Dragonair, Bagon and Haxorus, they finally returned to the shore. As for what they brought up, they were two black and sticky things, a bit like moldy rice cakes, but the color changed. Deeper. This is the essence of the best dragon. Facing the black group with a down-to-earth appearance, Luo Ling couldn't help but question it. After all, dragon essence is one of the best relics of breeder dragon Pokémon, and also the rarest. But what came up were these two balls of black rice cakes. It will inevitably make people doubt. However, just when Luo Ling was about to touch the two balls of black rice cakes with his hands, he found that when his hands gradually approached the essence of the dragon, the power of the dragon in his body seemed to be awakened as normal, and it was constantly flowing in his body. Roll. And the closer the distance, the stronger this feeling. This also made Luo Ling very sure, since the power of Yulong can have a strong reaction to it, this must be the essence of the dragon. Hint. It is detected that the host has harvested the best dragon essence, and the system will give a breeder plan. Close black lens bracket. Scheme 1. Let the dragon Pokémon eat directly, quickly absorb the power of the dragon essence, and quickly improve the ability. Close black lens bracket. Facing the best dragon essence, the system actually only gave one solution. It can be seen that the better the thing, the more unpretentious the method of use. As long as you let Pokémon eat directly, it is really easy. Obviously, all the Pokémon in Luo Ling are very interested in these two black blobs. Everyone felt the strong and rich dragon blood power emanating from the essence of the dragon. It's just that I only got 2 dragon essences, which is not enough for everyone to share. Even so, Luo Ling felt very lucky. I thought there was only one, but I didn't expect there to be two. Xiao Duolong, Dragonair, I will give you the essence of these two dragons. Proposal. Do. The two little ones were taken aback suddenly, they didn't expect that they would have the opportunity to enjoy the essence of the dragon, which was a little surprising. The reason why Luo Ling did this is because he thought that among all his Pokémon, Dragonair and Doran Messia have never evolved to their final form. Although the same is true for Bagon. But after all, the time of conquest is not long, the situation is still a little different from that of Doran Messia and Dragonair. These two have followed him from the very beginning, and have not yet degenerated into their final form. Even Axew, who was conquered a little later, has successfully evolved into Haxorus. Looking at it this way, it really embarrassed the two seniors. Moreover, Luo Ling has checked the data of two Pokémon. Once they are given the best dragon essence, they will be able to evolve again in a short time. Especially Duolong Maya, seeing his partners evolve one after another, and he is still at the initial stage, must feel a little sad in his heart. The moment Lori held the essence of the dragon in his hands, he instantly felt that the power of controlling the dragon in his body was about to burst out normal. Eat, these two are for you. Quote. Do. After the two cubs took the dragon's essence, they began to gulp down its swallow. Unexpectedly, after the two little ones finished eating, a very powerful force suddenly gushed out from their bodies, which also made the two little ones' bodies emit a faint light. The light is not dazzling, but also makes people feel very soft. After about tens of seconds, when the ray of light gradually dissipated, Hakron and Doran Messia, who had exhausted a lot of physical strength before, suddenly revived with full blood at this moment. Not only the spirit of the contest condition is very good, but also the whole body is full of energy. From the appearance point of view, the skin of the two Pokémon appears smoother, and there is even a hint of light reflection. The quality of the muscles and bones of the whole body has also become better, especially the posture of Dragonair, which is obviously softer and more sensitive than before using the dragon essence. 0. Ask for flowers. As for Duolong Maya, the bones of his body appear to be stronger, and even the hardness of his head has also been strengthened. The looming tail feels more flexible. Luo Ling quickly used the data eye to check the current situation of the two Pokémon. Open black lens bracket Dragonair. Dragon close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket level, 50 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket character, brave close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket ability, magic scale when in status condition, the defense will be increased, close black lens bracket. Individual values. HP 31, physical attack 31, special attack 31, physical defense 31, special defense 31, speed 31, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket skills. Dragon Rush, Agility, Dragon Dance, Dragon Tail, Water Pulse, Thunder Wave, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket qualification. Master level close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Dragon Messiah, Dragon Flash close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket level, 49 close black lens bracket. Character. Lot. Open black lens bracket ability. Penetration attacks are penetrating, can penetrate barriers or substitutes to attack, close black lens bracket. Individual value. HP 31, physical attack 31, special attack 31, physical defense 31, special defense 31, speed 31. Open black lens bracket skills. Quick attack, Dragon Tail, Dragon Breath, Thunder Wave, Dragon Pulse, Dragon Claw, substitute, Hex close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket qualification. Champion close black lens bracket. It really deserves to be the best dragon essence, the effect after use is so good. Both Dragonair and Doran Messia have been upgraded by 4 levels. Dragonair can now be considered to have finally entered the 50th level mark, which is at the same level as Roar. As for Duolong Mahia, although it will be a little later, but after strengthening training, it should not be long before he can evolve. 0. This time I chose to use the best dragon essence for the two little ones, which is not a loss. As the Pokémon who have followed Luo Ling for the longest time, Dragonair and Doran Messia get some preferential treatment, isn't it normal? Awesome. Congratulations, you are one step closer to evolving to the final form. While stroking Dragonair and Doran Messia, Luo Ling didn't forget about the other Pokémon. He continued. Other friends, don't be discouraged, it will be your turn next time. In any case, it is a good thing that Luo Ling's team is becoming stronger and stronger. It's just that if Ying Keir sees this scene, I'm afraid he will be d off. She fought desperately, but the result was not as good as the ultimate dragon essence that Luo Ling found. You must know that Ying Keir gave Luo Ling the opportunity to be recognized by the dragon god, and he continued to participate in the Three Dragons Club, hoping to have some chances. Isn't the essence of dragon a great opportunity? Luo Ling also seemed to know that there was another reason why there were so many Gyarados guarding Longtan. Now that the situation in Longtan has been basically figured out, there is no need to stay here any longer. Luo Ling took the Pokémon back to the temporary camp. But because of the battle just now, everyone was really hungry. The stomachs of Dragonair and Bagon showed signs of protest one after another. Energy cubes and small snacks can indeed last for a while, but eating these alone is not a long-term solution. You have to spend the night in the wilderness area, and you still need to eat decent food early. Looking around, Luo Ling said to the Pokémon, there should be a lot of fish in this river. Xiao Duolong, you just stay and watch the camp. Roaring Moon, you continue to be vigilant on the cliff. The other friends followed me down the stream to see if I could catch fish. By the way, help Bagon train, let him improve his strength as soon as possible. The Pokémon nodded, and Luo Ling left some snacks for Roaring Moon and Xiaoduolong at the camp, and then walked downstream along the stream. Thanks to the fish downstream, it is easier to catch. Along the way, Luo Ling and Pokémon caught a lot of fish. When encountering wild Pokémon, let Bagon fight and accumulate more combat experience. If you can't beat it, Dragonair and Haxorus will come out again. Open black lens bracket Bagon alone defeats Jangmo-O, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Bagon defeated Noibat by himself, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Bagon defeated Mi Lilong alone, close black lens bracket. After many battles and laser focus, Bagon's level has gradually increased from level 21 to level 23. Seeing that the sky was about to darken, several hours had passed without knowing it. It's time to meet the camp first and cook a delicious grilled fish for Pokémon. Temporary camp, next to Courtney. Luo Ling, who just came back, only saw the Roaring Moon on the cliff, but did not see Duolong Maya. However, it can be seen that the leftover snacks have been eaten up. I guess I went somewhere to play. If I smell the grilled fish, I should come back. Duolong Magia is the most playful of all Luo Ling's Pokémon, but every time it's meal time or when there is something delicious, he will come back and run faster than anyone else, so there is no need to worry where. Chapter 97 Xiaoduolong's Coquettish Operation. Flicker came 4 more dragons. Beside Courtney, Luo Ling took out all the spoils he had harvested. In addition to the fish, there were also a few prawns. Luo Ling was handling the grilled fish, and the smell soon spread throughout the camp. All the Pokémon gathered around Courtney. Don't worry, everyone, it will be cooked in a while. While talking, Luo Ling turned the grilled fish over. The fish meat and skin are gradually roasted, and the aroma of fish oil fills the air instantly. Before he knew it, all the Pokémon were by Luo Ling's side, and even the Roaring Moon who was patrolling in sky was called down. Afterwards, Luo Ling distributed the grilled fish to everyone. Gabe, babe, proposal, boom. It seems that one is missing. No, where's Xiaoduolong? Luo Ling was quite puzzled. Usually, at this kind of moment, if anyone is missing, it is absolutely impossible that Doran Messiah will be missing. But today such a strange thing happened. Little Doran. Eating grilled fish, Luo Ling got up and shouted around the camp, but there was still no sign of Doran Messiah. Strange, where did you go? Roaring Moon, did you notice the little dragon when you were patrolling soaring in the sky? Quote. Rumbling Moon inevitably lowered her head and shook it slightly. When he patrolled the city of soaring in the sky, he paid all his attention to his surroundings. Even if I was hungry, I didn't go down to the camp to eat snacks. But Duolong Magia directly ate all the snacks left by Luo Ling, leaving nothing for him. I don't even have time to express my grievances yet. Not good, is it really dangerous? A bad thought flashed in Luo Ling's heart. Just as he was about to let everyone go to find Doran Messiah together, there was a sudden rustling sound from the other side of the 380 stream. Taking a closer look, it is a Duranchi, with 4 little Doranmisia beside it. Luo Ling felt something was wrong instantly. Why does this Duolanchi feel so familiar? With uncertain conjectures, Luo Ling used the eye of data on it. Open black lens bracket Dragon Chi. Dragon flash close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket level 50 close black lens bracket. Character Lot. Open black lens bracket ability. Penetration attacks are penetrating, can penetrate barriers or substitutes to attack. Close black lens bracket. Individual value. HP 31, physical attack 31, special attack 31, physical defense 31, special defense 31, speed 31. Open black lens bracket skills. Quick attack, dragon tail, dragon breath, thunder wave, dragon pulse, dragon claw, substitute, hex, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket qualification. Champion close black lens bracket. Good guy, isn't this Duolongchi the same as the Duolong Messiah that I lost? When did it evolve? Moreover, why are there 4 Doran Messiahs behind him? Back in time, when Luo Ling let Doran Messiah guard the camp, he took other Pokémon to forage for food and exercise Bagon by the way. Ever since Roaring Moon went to inspect the sky, he fell behind. Duolong Maya, who was chatting in every possible way, had no choice but to sit under the tree, eating the snacks left by Luo Ling, and passing the time. But soon, the snacks were eaten up. Even Rumbling Moon's share was not spared. Doran Messiah, who has nothing to do, can't sleep, so he can only take a boring walk around the camp, and play tricks on the weak Pokémon attracted by the snack crumbs from time to time. As it happens, Doran Messiah is also able to force battles with these wild Pokémon. It can be regarded as one more entertainment project to kill time. However, there was a sudden splash on the other side of the river. This immediately attracted the attention of the already boring Doran Messiah. I flew over and saw that 1 or 2 weak fruit-gnawing insects were carrying the apples they liked. Doran Messiah, who had never seen a fruit worm before, immediately had a strong interest in this Pokémon. So, he used his special ability of invisibility to secretly follow behind this group of fruit-gnawing insects, wanting to see what they were carrying the apples for. At this time, Duolong Maya was still immersed in eating fruit worms, and had no idea that the danger was coming. I followed behind the fruit-gnawing insects and found that they pushed the apple into a small hole in front. He yelled at the inside, and not long after, 4 Doran Macios, who were weaker than the little Doran, came out to eat the apples. It turns out that these gnawing fruits are for sharing food with the 4 Doran Macios. Seeing the delicious food, Xiao Duolong couldn't help but get carried away, and accidentally showed his real body, scaring the fruit-gnawing insects and the 4 Duolong Messiah. The gnawing fruit worm quickly hid in the cave, but the 4 dragons, Messiah, were not very friendly to the little dragon. The 4 of them rushed to the front, constantly sending out vigilant growl. Do. But despite the other party shouting, Xiao Duolong has long been attracted by the delicious apples. It didn't care at all that the 4 of its kind warned it to protect the fruit-gnawing insects, and swept away the apples on their own. The 4 of the same kind and the fruit-gnawing insects gradually felt that Xiao Duolong didn't seem to have any malicious intentions, but when he wanted to eat delicious food, he immediately let go of his guard. The gnawing fruit bug itself is a very docile and timid Pokémon. But as long as it is confirmed that Xiao Duolong is not malicious, he is still happy to share food. After Xiao Duolong got to know each other and communicated with everyone, Xiao Duolong realized that the original fruit-gnawing insects and the 4 Doran Macios had always been the contest condition for helping each other live in this area. After all, the Pokémon that eats fruit worms is really too weak. They depend on apples for food all their lives, but if they leave the apples, all the water in their bodies will be lost and they will die. But as long as they find apples with the right taste, they can evolve into different Pokémon according to different tastes. Now, the 4 Doranmesia and the fruit-gnawing worm have reached a cooperation. The gnawing worms are responsible for finding apples as food, and the 4 dragons are responsible for protecting them until the gnawing worms have the ability to protect themselves after evolution. It can also be regarded as helping each other. After all, the ability of gnawing fruit bugs to find apples can be said to be one of the best in the Pokémon world. Xiao Duolong said that it can also join the team to protect the fruit-gnawing insects, as long as it can also be given delicious apples. At this time, Xiao Duolong completely forgot his duty to stay in the camp. Everyone can also feel that Xiao Duolong seems to be stronger than everyone else, so they agree. Then, a group of Pokémon are exploring in the forest, looking for apples. Just after everyone passed a bush, the fruit-gnawing insects suddenly became excited. They gathered under one of the apple trees and slowly climbed up. There are several apples on the tree, which seem to be well hydrated and delicious. Soon, the fruit-gnawing insects carried the apples down. Abu! Suddenly, there was a growl in soaring in the sky. Look up, it's Noibat. This frightens the fruit-gnawing insects. Noibat is the natural enemy of fruit-gnawing insects. It also likes to eat fruit, and sometimes it mistakes fruit-gnawing insects living in apples for fruits. Not only will it pose a threat to the fruit-gnawing insects, but it will also snatch away the real apples. In this way, the Pokémon launched a defense war against fruit-gnawing insects and apples. However, the Noibat circling and soaring in the sky is very powerful, with level 45, and the 4 Doran Macios are not its rival at all. Noibat only used one move of Supersonic to confuse the 4 Doran Macios. With such weak strength, Xiao Duolong is also helpless. Dulu, with your strength, how can you protect the fruit-gnawing insects? Dulu, looks like it's up to me in the end. In a blink of an eye, Xiao Duolong incarnated as the envoy protecting apples, and envoy protecting fruit insects, floating in midair, and came face to face with bat eaters. Abu, don't be in the way, get out of the way. No Pokémon that steal my apples will be allowed. Xiao Duolong and Noibat were deadlocked in place. It wasn't until Noibat broke the deadlock with an air slash that the fight pulled away from Veilstone. Xiao Duolong was agile, and used quick attack to evade Noibat's attack, and gradually narrowed the distance with the opponent, preparing to beat Noibat hard with Dragon Tail. However, Noibat is not a vegetarian, and at the moment Xiao Duolong was about to approach, he quickly released Double Team. Whoosh. Just around, many avatars appeared one after another, interfering with Xiao Duolong's judgment. Although there was no Luo Ling on the scene to direct, but relying on his rich combat experience, Xiao Duolong quickly disappeared, making Noibat suddenly stunned in place. Many clones looked around at the same time, but they couldn't find Xiao Duolong. Bump. Suddenly, Xiao Duolong released a large number of swifts from behind Noibat, smashing all Noibat's clones one by one, leaving only the real body present. Before Noibat could react, Xiao Duolong gathered all his strength at the tail, and with a move of Dragon Tail, he directly hit Noibat's vital point. But this Noibat is very tenacious. It can't be defeated with just one Dragon Tail. Abu. Noibat made unbearable sound waves, and even Xiao Duolong couldn't help covering his ears after hearing it. The sound became more and more ear-piercing, so that the fruit-gnawing insects hiding in the lower places and the 4 Doran Macios were all affected, and retreated steadily. Noibat roared and opened his mouth, showing his sharp teeth, and rushed towards the little dragon with his furious front teeth. The latter was not in a hurry, showing that he disappeared in place, so that Noibat could not find the target to attack, and then appeared behind the opponent, with a move of Phantom Force, which caught the enemy by surprise. Then Dragon Claw followed quickly, and Xiao Duolong successfully defeated Noibat by himself. It is determined that the enemy has been unable to act, and is ready to return to the ground soon. But at this moment, it felt a force in its body constantly surging outward, and the light of evolution appeared on its body. After the light dissipated, Xiao Duolong successfully evolved into Duolongchi. Compared with before, Duolongqi's figure has become larger than before, the cross-collar on the tail has disappeared, and the tail has become a lot longer. There is also an upside-down victory symbol on the chest. The light of evolution just now surprised the fruit-gnawing insects hiding in the dark in the 4 Doran Macios. When they saw the evolved Doranqi, they couldn't help cheering in congratulations. Duolongqi came in front of everyone, looking at the intact apple, he finally felt relieved. As long as those delicious apples aren't snatched, it's fine. While eating delicious apples, Duolongqi accepted everyone's thanks. At this time, the gnawing fruit worms each picked a suitable apple, and planted it in it. But it didn't take long. They are also braving the light of evolution together. The essence of Pokémon, such as gnawing fruit worms, is quite special. They do not rely on levels or evolution stones. Instead, when they find an apple with a suitable taste, they will evolve into different new Pokémon according to the taste they find. If it is a sour apple, it will evolve into an apple-wrapped dragon. If it is a sweet apple, it will evolve into a Librosaurus. As long as they evolve successfully, they will finally have the ability to protect themselves. It turns out that the apples discovered just now are important items that allow the fruit-gnawing insects to evolve. No wonder I was so excited before, and hurried to climb up the tree. For the 4 Doran Macios, they are naturally very happy that the fruit-gnawing insects they protect have finally evolved and no longer need protection. But at the same time, it also means that they do not have a stable source of apples. Moreover, it is obviously a person who protects others, but the protected person can evolve. This kind of mood is somewhat sad. Duolongqi can feel the mood of the 4 Duolongmija. After seeing the evolution of Dragonair, didn't I feel the same way? Now, it was replaced by other people, and Duolongqi suddenly felt that perhaps Luo Ling could help them. Yes, I left the camp without saying hello, and now I finally remembered that I still have a master, and a trainer accompanying me to grow up. Dulu, do you want to become stronger? Do you want to evolve? Do you want to be as powerful as me? After Duolongqi finished eating the apple, he looked at Duolongmija and others with very sincere eyes. Dulu, think. Dulu, then come with me, I know a trainer who can make you stronger. Dulu, is it really possible? Dulu, of course it is true, I am a good example, and you can eat a lot of delicious food. Dulu, okay, then we will follow you back. In this way, Tyrone and Messi followed behind Duranqi at 0.6. Seeing that the sky was going to get dark, I hurried back. Just like that, the scene that Luo Ling saw happened. I don't know when my little Doran evolved into Duolongqi, and the moment when the 4 Doran Macios who were fooled over appeared, the scene immediately became lively. In the end, what happened? Luo Ling stepped forward to check Duolongqi's situation carefully. There was nothing serious, and he was sure that it was his little Duolong, and there was no mistake. Duolongqi actually pulled Luo Ling's collar, and then pointed to the 4 Doranmija behind him. The 4 cubs cheered at Luo Ling. Luo Ling asked incredulously, "You all want to be my Pokémon?" The 4 little ones nodded, and Duolongqi looked up from the side, showing a proud expression. It seemed as if he was asking Luo Ling for credit. Look, I'm still great. These are all brought by me. Praise me now. Luo Ling was very surprised. He didn't expect Duolongqi to rely on his own ability to have a few more followers after leaving for such a trip. Although I don't know what method Duolongqi used, but since these little followers are willing, he will naturally not refuse. He took out 4 unused Pokeballs from his backpack and gently placed them in front of the Doranmijas. The latter also lightly touched the Pokeball with his small hand, was enveloped by the red light emitted from it, and was put into Ball C. Afterwards, these little guys were released again. Duolongqi said to the 4 little ones, Dulu. All of a sudden, there were 4 more friends, and the grilled fish was not enough. Luo Ling hurriedly continued to grill the fish, and became the master of the barbecue stall. However, this barbecue stand is indeed a bit primal, and a little crude. Chapter 98 The Isolated Gibble. Have you ever seen 4 quasi-gods subdued at once? Know what that feels like? Others may not have seen it, but they have now. The scene of the Sijun god asking to be subdued just now was seen by the people of the 3 tribes, and they were dumbfounded. For a while, everyone was talking about this matter. There were whispering voices at the scene one after another, and many people felt that this matter was too absurd. Is this really not artificial? Taking orally 4 quasi-gods at once, this kind of thing is unthinkable in normal times. If you just keep quasi-god, then you can still understand. After all, among the 3 clans who came to participate in the Sanlong Way, they are all top aristocratic families. Among the disciples, who is not a quasi-god? But 4 at once is a bit exaggerated. I remember, in our scoring competition, it seems that recovering Pokémon is forbidden. People from the Yaki family suddenly spoke. Patriarch Baki Hejun also set his sights on Long Aocean. Matt, the head of the Clarence family farthest away, also questioned Long Aocean. Long Aocean and Ying Niangtian glanced at each other, and the latter nodded slightly. Afterwards, Long Aocean started the mode of protecting the calf. This dragon island originally belonged to my dragon family. This time Luo Ling is also representing my Long family. These Pokémon are considered rewards from the Long family. As soon as these words came out, everyone present was instantly speechless. Yes, you are the head of the house, you have the final say. In front of the other 2 family members, so blatantly protecting the calf, not to mention that it is true that this island is indeed the ancestral land of the Long family. What else can the other 2 families say? After all, This is not a violation of the regulations, it is a reward from the Long family to Luo Ling. For a moment, it can be said that the brows of the other two families were slightly frowned. When it's their turn to hold the Sanlongwei next time, they can also give their clansmen a reward. Now that Long Aotian has already said that, the others stopped asking questions, but continued to focus on this trial. Since O3 harvested 4 dragon messiahs in one breath, the biggest change to Luo Ling was not that the overall team strength had become stronger. But the rations are not enough. The appetite of the 4 Doran messiah is not small. Looking at the dry food prepared in advance, I am afraid that it will not be enough until the end of tomorrow. Still manageable tonight. Having experienced a lot of battles during the day, Luo Ling's Pokémon are a little tired. Everyone filled their stomachs in the temporary camp, so they took advantage of the night to rest early. This night, Luo Ling did not fall asleep as easily as he expected. It was an accident for him to recover these 4 Doran Messias all at once. As for how to train these 4 little dragons in the future, it is indeed a rare problem. Of the few Pokémon currently in breeder, except for Rumbling Moon and Haxorus, none of them have yet evolved to their final form. At this time, there are 4 more Doran Messias. This kind of quasi-god Pokémon breeder is already relatively difficult. Dragonair and Duolongchi are typical examples. The two of them are the Pokémon who have followed Luo Ling for the longest time. Not only did they not evolve to the final form, but Axew, who joined a little later, evolved into the Sparrow fighting dragon. This is why Luo Ling decided to give Dragonair and Duolongchi the best dragon essence. It can be seen that Luo Ling will be under a lot of pressure in the future. It doesn't matter, let's sleep first. Luo Ling sighed helplessly. It seems that if you want to continue to breed the 4 little dragons like breeder in the future, you still have to go back and discuss it with the father to see if there is any better way. As night fell, the entire Dragon Island became extremely silent. On the square, in many monitoring screens, many children from aristocratic families who participated in the points competition selection are still fighting Pokémon desperately, hoping to get higher scores as soon as possible. Although as long as you can get 1,000 points, you can successfully advance. But in the end there will still be a ranking. Moreover, this ranking will play a vital role in the order of appearance in the Dewford competition, and it is not just a vain appearance. So everyone definitely hopes that the higher the points they get, the better. Not only can the final ranking look better, but it can also give the family he represents a good reputation. At the same time, it is also possible to gain more advantages in the subsequent game process as much as possible. Although everyone is very introverted, it doesn't mean that the people of the 3 races in the square will stay up all night and circle together. It was getting late. Long Aotian saw that it was almost the same, so he got up from his seat. Everyone, our Long family has prepared a sumptuous dinner for everyone on the island. If you need it, you can go to the villa area to have a meal now, and after you return to your respective room, you can also observe the dynamics of the players in the room. Often at this time, it can always show how strong a family's family background is. Long Aotian will not be stingy in this regard. If there is no way to guarantee the cost of eating and drinking, wouldn't it make the other 2 people laugh out loud? Everyone was indeed hungry. After Long Aotian finished speaking, people returned to the villa area one after another. Each family arranged for a few people to stay at the scene and continue to observe the movements of the players. In this way, on one side are the high-level officials of the 3 clans who are enjoying a sumptuous and delicious dinner, and on the other side are contestants who live in the open air, live in no fixed place, and must always pay attention to danger. There is a sharp contrast between the 2 sides. Only a few people can sleep peacefully tonight. Luo Ling is one of them. With the guardians of Rumbling Moon, Haxorus, Bagon, Dragonair and many dragons, Normal's wild Pokémon dare not approach easily. The next day, early morning. Bathed in the early morning sunshine, after Luo Ling got up, he asked the Pokémon to check whether there were any hidden dangers around him, and he took out dry food from his pocket to replenish his strength, and the phenol also. Then, the temporary camp was taken down. There are still more than 10 hours left, and this time the points race is coming to an end. Luo Ling must hurry up and continue exploring in this wild area. This is Dragon Island, the secret realm of dragons. In this kind of place where there are dragon Pokémon everywhere, you can often see quasi-gods, such a rare opportunity, Luo Ling can't waste it anyway. After packing up everything, Luo casually found a direction and continued to explore. Hint. Ding, find the dragon gem at 11 o'clock. After walking for almost half an hour, the system's prompt sound suddenly appeared in my mind. According to the prompt, Luo Ling successfully found a high-level dragon gem. In the next hour, I continued to search non-stop, and got a lot of secret treasures necessary for breeder dragon Pokémon, such as Dragon Fang, Dragon Spirit Piece, Dragon Skull, etc. As for the best dragon essence like yesterday, it is indeed relatively rare. After all, compared to other secret treasures, dragon essence is extremely rare. It is enough to be able to meet luck, let alone the best level. However, apart from these secret treasures, Luo Ling still hopes that he can subdue 1 or 2 Pokémon with good aptitude on Dragon Island. It wasn't the 4 little Doran Messiahs from yesterday. After all, there are repeated Pokémon, which is not very meaningful. For a full quota team to compete in, there are often no Pokémon of the same kind. The 4 quasi-gods recovered yesterday. In fact, Luo Ling also considered that they had good qualifications, and they could be brought home as the family's reserve army for breeder in the future, which can be regarded as a contribution to the family. Reality is different from the game. There is no special requirement for how many Pokémon the trainer wants to carry, as long as you can hold it. It just means that in regular matches, only 6 Pokémon are allowed in a full quota team. Therefore, it is impossible for every powerful trainer to recover only 6 Pokémon in his lifetime. They tend to have their own reserves of participating teams. It is not until the official game that they will decide what team configuration to use. Just like the Luo family, many powerful Pokémon in the backyard came from Luo Hongji breeder, but Luo Hongji would not always keep them by his side. It just confuses Luo Ling. After all, Dragon Island's territory is limited. If every time the Sanlongwei was held, there were people who frantically took over the Pokémon here, wouldn't it have been evacuated long ago? Presumably the people of the Long family would not allow this to happen. But it's strange if there are rules about not being able to tame Pokémon. Then yesterday when it was time to subdue 4 Doran Messiahs, why didn't anyone come to stop them? And there are 4 quasi-gods. Even if quasi-god Pokémon can often be seen on this island, it is not an ordinary dragon Pokémon after all, and the management will definitely be stricter. It's not clear how the people in the farmhouse arranged it, and Luo Ling didn't want to waste time making useless guesses here. Anyway, when you meet a suitable Pokémon, you can subdue it first. The big deal is to discuss it with the Long family after this event is over. See if you can take the recovered Pokémon with you at some cost, or set them free. In short, there is no need to think so much now. Continue to explore first, and then complete the points this time. What's more, whether you can meet the right Pokémon depends on the opportunity. Continue to walk along the current terrain, and finally walk out of the dense forest. The front is a relatively dry area. The strange thing is that it is not far from the sea, so the humidity in the air should be relatively high. Just when he was wondering, Luo Ling suddenly heard a lot of Pokémon growl coming from the front. So, he hurriedly hid first. It is not difficult to judge from the sound that there are a lot of Pokémon haunting ahead, and there are at least 4 to 5,000 according to preliminary estimates. Luo Ling is alone. No matter how strong he is, he cannot face so many wild Pokémon at the same time. In order not to be discovered as much as possible, Luo Ling took Rumbling Moon and Garchomp back first. Let Duolongchi and Duolongmaya use their invisibility ability to hide. Only let Bagon and Dragonair follow. The size of these 2 Pokémon is relatively larger than Arnold, so it is not easy to be found. After passing through several bushes and taking a slight detour to the side, it was only then that I could clearly see what Pokémon was making the noise in front of me. It turns out that there are 3 groups of Garchomp, Excadrill, and Flygon living here, and there are also 3 Pokémon forms before Pokémon evolved. Seeing that they don't have any conflicts and get along very well, it is not difficult to judge that this should be their perennial habitat. The 3 ethnic groups live together here, and they should have reached the awareness of sharing the territory. Otherwise, even if Flygon, Garchomp and Excadrill will definitely fight too. Looking at the Pokémon of the 3 groups talking and laughing here, Luo Ling hid behind the tree and carefully checked with the data eye. At this time, I was glad that I didn't break into this area recklessly just now. These Pokémon that exist in front of us are all quite powerful. On average, the Garchomp group has strength in their early 50s. Excadrill is slightly weaker, but also has about 48 levels. Flygon is similar to Garchomp, but they are generally at level 53. If there was a real fight, Luo Ling might not be able to gain the upper hand by virtue of the superiority in numbers and the fact that the average strength of the individual players is not weak. Just when Luo Ling was looking around with the eyes of data, he suddenly found a poor little isolated by the ethnic group, Gibble. This Gibble was alone holding a branch and waving 547 silently. It sat on a high ground but couldn't see Durong from its face. In contrast, the other Pokémon next to them were talking and laughing happily, forming a sharp contrast. Luo Ling was puzzled. Although the Gibble group, including the evolved form, has a relatively strong sense of territory, it is only aimed at species outside the group. Among their groups, they are still very willing to help each other. This isolated Gibble has become something else. Could it be another secret? Out of curiosity, Luo Ling used the eye of data on this lone Gibble. Open black lens bracket Gibble. Dragon, ground, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket level. 20 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket character. Introverted close black lens bracket. First ability. Rough skin. When directly attacked by the enemy's contact type, the enemy will also be damaged. Second ability. Sand hidden. Increased dodge rate in sandstorm weather, and will not be affected by sandstorm weather. Third ability. Shaking the sand in sandstorm weather, the speed ability is greatly improved. Fourth ability. Sand power in sandstorm weather, the power of ground, rock and steel moves will increase. Individual value. HP 31, physical attack 31, special attack 31, physical defense 31, special defense 31, speed 31, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket skills. Sand tomb, tackle, dragon breath, sand attack, bulldoze, dragon claw, dig, fire fang, close black lens bracket. Qualification. God level. Luo Ling's eyes widened instantly. 4 abilities. And it's a God level qualification. Are you sure there is nothing wrong with the system? No, there is definitely nothing wrong with the system. The Gibble in front of him is definitely the best of the best. Although there is no flash, and the level is not outstanding, as long as the breeder is good, in time, it will definitely be able to kill blockbuster enemies in seconds. This also made Luo Ling feel that it really deserves to be called Dragon Island, a paradise for dragon Pokémon. Pokémon with 4 abilities can actually appear. If these abilities are in the sandbag weather, they are not as simple as the god of war in the desert, they are simply gods in the desert. With various ability blessings, it's hard to lose. Then it will be, you Solician, I am invincible. This Gible, Robbie recovers. However, if memory serves me correctly, the 2 abilities of sand removal and sand power are not abilities possessed by the Gible group. Why did it appear on Gible? Among the Pokémon groups on the scene, only Excadrill can possess the ability to both shake sand and the power of sand. When he was fighting with Lee Chungkun in the freshman match, the other party had used a Pokémon like Excadrill, and Luo Ling still remembers it vividly. In the case of one Pokémon having more than one ability, it is probably the result of breeding offspring of different Pokémon. But it must be the same egg group, so that Pokémon can breed offspring. Well known. The Garchomp group and the Excadrill group are not the same egg group. Chapter 99 4 Ability Diving Gible. Conquer. Suddenly, Luo Ling had a bold guess. Could it be that the 4 abilities Gible in front of me is the product of a cross-egg hybrid? Very likely. Under normal circumstances, the offspring of Pokémon can only be reproduced under the same egg group. Only in this way can there be a great possibility of breeding success. But there are exceptions. In rare cases, there will be crossing of different egg groups. It's just that such breeding has a greater probability of failure, and the Pokémon bred are likely to be nondescript and unable to grow healthily. It can be understood as cross-species breeding, which is a truth. This Gible may be isolated because of this situation, and the ethnic groups on both sides don't like it. I can only keep a distance in the pitiful silence and live alone. For a moment, Luo Ling felt pity. This is a great opportunity to take back Gible. Just when Gible is isolated, hurry up and pua it. Luo Ling came in front of Gible, who was taken aback for a moment, obviously on guard. Cuff. Because this Gible has been isolated for a long time, someone suddenly approached it and was not used to it. Don't be nervous. Luo Ling was smiling, and before he finished speaking, Gible directly used Dig to escape, but left the corner of the top of his head on the ground, just like the shell when he saw a shark in the sea. Luo Ling wants to try to follow the past, but he is afraid that he will be discovered by the 3 groups of wild Pokémon living here, so he can only give up temporarily. And the isolated Gible was still as pitiful as before. Whenever it wants to get close to its own people, it will be moved by other operators. Whether it is the Garchomp group or the Excadrill group, they will be mercilessly abandoned. This made Gible, who was already weak and helpless, even more pitiful at this moment. Wrong. Gible looked at the backs of the 2 ethnic groups, feeling dejected, with tears in the corners of his eyes. Duolongchi, the rest is up to you. Luo Ling asked Duolongchi and Duolongmaya to use their invisibility to approach Gible quietly. However, the opponent seems to be more alert. Although he can't see other Pokémon approaching around him, Gible can still feel something strange around him. Luo Ling, who saw this scene, was very emotional. It really deserves to be Gible with God-level potential, who is only at level 20, and can actually have such a high sensory ability. When Gible was looking around, Duranchi suddenly cancelled the stealth contest condition and devoted himself to Gible's side. Cuff. Gible was frightened, and quickly jumped back to distance himself from Duolongchi. At the same time, 4 little Doran Messies around the Doran substitute were also found. Gible could feel that the Doranki in front of him was as strong as the other compatriots in his group. But these Doran Messias beside it are much weaker. I'm afraid that the 4 little ones will be able to defeat Gible barely if they work together. This also made Gible very curious. Why is Duolongchi willing to bring the weak Doran Messia by his side, but his own group wants to isolate himself? All of a sudden, the sensitive Yuan Lu shark was about to cry out of aggrieveness. Duranchi and the 4 Doranmesia hurriedly surrounded Gible, stroking his head and body gently, and comforting him. Cuff. Luo Ling was squatting behind a tree not far away, watching Duolongchi and Duolongmaya constantly comforting Gible. Seeing that the timing was almost the same, he reappeared in front of the other party. Only this time, Luo Ling took out some dry food and placed it in front of Gible, as well as some energy drinks. Gible, which has been isolated for a long time, presumably even survival will become a problem. Usually, in order to chase your own clansmen, you should also feel more comfortable eating. Therefore, when seeing food and water, Gible was a little bit moved. It tried to slowly touch the food in Luo Ling's hand, and the moment it took it, it found that Luo Ling was invincible to it, and even showed a benevolent smile. At this moment, Gible couldn't hold back any longer, and quickly poured all the food and water into his mouth. Cuff. Seeing that Gible was finally willing to eat the food he brought, Luo Ling finally breathed a sigh of relief. At least the other party is not as defensive as before. Gible, don't worry about being abandoned by the race. Learn to trust humans. Humans will always be your most loyal partners, just like me. Look at Duranchi, he has become so strong under my training. So much so that these 4 little ones are willing to be by my side, and we all grow up together. If you don't mind, you can also follow me. I assure you, it will not make you hungry, and it will make you stronger and stronger, and you will be able to protect other weak partners in the future. Perhaps it was the last sentence that managed to impress Gible, causing a gleam of expectation to suddenly shine in his eyes. At this moment, Gible looked at Luo Ling, and then at Duolongchi and Duolong Messia. With the encouragement of all the little ones, Gible gradually hesitated, and it began to think whether it really wanted to follow Luo Ling. During the period of hesitation, Gibble turned and looked at his group. Whether it's the Garchomps or the Excadrill group, they all live together very harmoniously, and they don't want Gibble to join them. Faced with such a situation, Gibble suddenly frowned, and finally made up his mind. Cuff. Gibble turned his head to Luo Ling, and called out to him very firmly. Luo Ling smiled and asked, "Have you thought about it? Are you really willing to follow me?" Cuff. Gibble means roar again. This time, it didn't hesitate, but didn't rush to urge Luo Ling. That being the case, Luo Ling took out an unused Pokeball, faced Gibble face to face, and let him tap the raised button with his hand. Bump. As the Pokeball activates, a beam of red light is released covering Gibble's entire body. Ding, ding, ding dong. As the red light of the Pokeball turned into green light, Luo Ling successfully regained a 4-ability Divine Dive Gibble. Don't worry, Gibble, we will all be your family from now on. No one will abandon you, Luo Ling said to the Pokeball. The Pokeball also began to shake slowly, and Gibble inside heard Luo Ling's voice. Before the Garchomp, Excadrill and Flygon groups found out, Luo Ling hurriedly took the Pokemon away from this place. These 3 ethnic groups live here, and the total number is initially fixed at least 50. And most Pokemon are between level 40 and 50, and a considerable number are over level 50. If we fought against them here, Lu Turner would have no advantage at all. When they came to a safe place, Luo Ling released all the Pokemon. Then he said to everyone, Gibble will be everyone's little friend from now on, let's get to know each other. While talking, Luo Ling distributed all the remaining snacks to everyone. When there are new partners in the team, always have to celebrate. Although the materials are limited at present, there is still a sense of ceremony. It can also be regarded as making a relatively sensitive Pokemon like Gibble feel more stable in his heart, allowing him to integrate into this big family as soon as possible. This will be of great help to everyone in cultivating feelings and tacit understanding in the future. And Luo Ling also released the power of Yulong, let Gibble feel such a contest condition, and create more fetters with himself. Coincidentally, I got a Mega Evolution Stone from Garchomp in the Longtan group yesterday. Today I harvested a Gibble with high qualifications, it seems that all this is the best arrangement. Recalling that today, I have collected a lot of secret treasures along the way, all of which can be used to breed dragon Pokemon. Luo Ling quickly took out all Dragon Skull, Dragon Fang, Dragon Spirit Pieces, Dragon Gem, etc., and distributed these secret treasures to his partners according to the best breeder plan given by the system. Afterwards, he continued to ride on the rumbling moon, and continued to search for secret treasures according to the system's prompts. Along the way, if you encounter some weak Pokemon, let Bagon and Gibble defeat them. If it's a powerful rival that neither of them can beat, Lu Shang will let Dragonair do it. Originally, he wanted to give Duolongchi more chances, but since he saw it secretly evolved behind his back. It seems that the focus should be on Dragonair now. As my first Pokemon, I definitely hope that Dragonair can evolve into its final form as soon as possible. In this way, Luo Ling defeated the wild Pokemon while looking for the secret treasure. And these processes were all seen by the 3 groups of high-level executives on the square. How could this Luo Ling find so many secret treasures? This luck is too good. Yaki and Jen frowned slightly, this situation is indeed a bit abnormal. Who in this world is so lucky? You can meet a secret treasure after walking a few steps. Is this treating the barren area that has not yet been developed by the Long family as an independent wholesale supermarket? Matt Cloran also felt that something was wrong, and Lu Ling found the location of the secret treasure with great precision every time. Once or twice that could indeed be down to luck. But if this happens several times in a row, isn't this a pre-arranged script? After all, this Dragon Island is the ancestral land of the Long family. It's not impossible for this to happen. Patriarch Long, are you just watching Luo Ling, an outsider like you, collect so many secret treasures, and remain indifferent? Matt questioned Long Aocean directly. Obviously, this is also the doubt in Baki and Junshin. They also wanted to test Long Aocean through this question, to see if all this was arranged by Long Aocean in private. Long Aocean took a deep breath, he didn't expect such a thing to happen. The other players did indeed find secret treasures in the secret realm, but in comparison, Luo Ling got too many secret treasures. And there are many high-level or top-grade secret treasures. Seeing such a scene, Long Aocean himself felt very heartbroken. But at this moment, Ying Nongtian suddenly remembered what Ying Kair had said to him before. A similar situation seemed to have happened in the field survival test for freshmen at Kunlun University, so he told everyone. Luo Ling's Salamence seems to have the ability to pick up, quote, be able to help him. Easier to find secret treasures. The ability to pick up. Now everyone finally understood. That Salamence is really strange, it is a form that everyone has never seen before. If it was really through the power of Salamence that Luo Ling obtained so many secret treasures, then there is nothing wrong with it. As long as it wasn't a special arrangement by the Long family to maintain fairness and justice, the other 2 families would not say anything. It's just really enviable. This Luo Ling actually has such an excellent Pokemon. Not only is it powerful, but it can also find so many secret treasures, which has played a very important role for Luo Ling breeder Pokemon. There are only less than 3 hours left in the whole day. Players do not know their real-time points ranking. So the closer to the end of the points competition, the more anxious the players who entered the wild area became. At this time, because the family is no longer in peace, can you meet the powerful wild Pokemon? But if they can meet each other, they will fight directly and forcibly, just to get as many points as possible. Seeing that the number of secret treasures collected was about the same, Luo Ling continued to search for some Pokémon battles in the last 3 hours. Waited until 3 hours later. When all the players returned to Longdao Square, the points match ended. Long Aocean spoke again. All the points have been counted. Announce those with less than 1,000 points first. As soon as the voice fell, many names were displayed on the big screen in the square-like subtitles. After the names of these people, the specific points obtained are all marked in red, and without exception, they are all less than 1 point. For this kind of people who haven't even reached the basic score, there is naturally no need to rank them. In this link, more than 80% of the players have already been wiped out. It is enough to see how powerful the people sent by the 3 major families in Sanlongwei in recent years are. Seeing such a result, Luo Ling seems to be able to understand why such a point competition is arranged this year. Just imagine, how much time would be wasted if all of these people with less than 1,000 points entered the official martial arts competition. After the announcement of the list with less than 1,000 points, the next step is to rank them according to the size of the points, and display the results in order. Luo Ling, 1652 points. 8 Kichuan, 1648 points. Ellie Clarence, 1577 points. Win Lottery, 1519 points. Longxing, 146 points. When they were gradually announced in order, the slight gap of only 4 points between the first and second places also made the people present sigh. Luo Ling readily accepted such a result. After all, most of the time in a day is spent practicing for your Pokémon or looking for secret treasures. There isn't much time to actually fight wild Pokémon. So it was normal for him to be almost caught up by Yakishuan. Even Luo Ling felt it was strange that he was able to climb to the first place with a slight advantage when he was already lying flat enough to guarantee a successful promotion. Is it possible that other people also followed suit? Perhaps, there are many people who have the same idea as Luo. The real purpose of this points competition is mainly to eliminate some miscellaneous fish that pretend to be numbers. As long as you can ensure that you meet the conditions for promotion, there is actually no need to work so hard. The same is true for winning the lottery. When she first entered the wild area, she was indeed desperately earning points. However, she felt that her points had already reached 1,000, and she was able to guarantee the promotion. She didn't roll up like she did at the beginning, but also recharged her energy and spent the rest of her time looking for secrets. Treasure, or see if you can encounter other opportunities. In the later stage, I still encountered a few more powerful Pokémon. After defeating him, he also gained a lot of points, and finally ranked 4th in the standings.